Darku, welcome! You're number one. Hell yeah. Hello. I gotta like, I gotta like, put the alert gang thing. But I have to like copy the right thing. Woo! Welcome! You're number one. Oh. Hell yeah. Hello. Listen to myself. Oh god. That's not what I want to do. Oh, baby. Alright, now Instagram has to know. I have to tell them. It's important. I gotta start this replay buffer also. Boo, 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 boo. Okay. Wait, I gotta go. There's a series now. It's not just my Twitch, it's other things. I gotta copy the announcement text. Copy link? Yeah. Pika, hello! Maybe I should, here's what I'll do. Post that. And I'll say, live now, yay, boop boop. And then we got a button that would, no, stop. Just go away. You mustn't. No. There's pop-ups happening. Ah. Okay. We paste this link. Can I change the color of this link? Kind of. Not really. Okay, hell yeah. I did it, baby, baby. I hope you're all having a lovely Saturday. We're gonna make it better together. Yo, we getting alert today. I'm excited. Ugh. Woo, 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 woo. That, I posted that thing on Twitter yesterday, and it did much better than I thought that it would. So that's very cool. I like that. I'm happy to see it. You love to see it. And I am, you love, what's this? How's that song go? I'm trying to, like, make a joke about the hesitation, but then I can't actually remember what I want to say. But how's that song? You only get what you give. What's that song? That's like an old song. That's like a classics. I feel like I hate that the songs that I listened to a long time ago are now oldies. And that means that I, too, am an oldie. Welcome, one and all. It's your boy. I'm not centered. Hold on. There we go. It's your boy, Comfy Cat Boy. How are you today? We have today a very special workshop. It's a regular workshop, but I'm very excited about it. We have quite a few of shorts to get through today. And I'm gonna workshop them all, or until we run out of time. Whatever comes first. I have a cool new announcement. You're like that kid who became a meme. Yeah. Do you ever some people have that memorized. You get what you give is the name of the song. That's a pretty, I'll accept it. I'll accept that name. A couple of, I can't tell how many people are here, but I have a couple quick announcements. I might be saying this a few times through. I'm posting a link to my card right now. I am now offering a few more services. Slew, hello, how are you? Welcome. And nice, happy welcome. Nice. I just announced this yesterday. I now have a Ko-fi store where I'm gonna be uploading. I have one video right now, but I'm planning on making a lot more sort of longer, in-depth theory videos, and uploading those to Ko-fi. You can download them and learn them. They're all gonna be like pretty long, pretty explainy. which is, I think, not a good match for YouTube often. YouTube's like, they want it like, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? And so I think this will be a good sort of middle situation. Additionally, I'm now offering also short review services, where if you're like, hey, I need to, something's not quite working, but I don't know what, and I don't know how to find out. You could ask me, and I'll be like, hey, I think that it's this. And then you can enact that and see how it goes. You know what I mean? So those are all, and then also just regular video editing services, as long as all the other socials I have are on that link, comfycatboy.card.co. And then I've been doing these like once a month-ish. We might, Lauv, hello, is that how you pronounce it? Is it Lauv? Or is it love? Lau. I like doing these. I feel like I don't like doing these too often. I don't want people to get sort of burnt out on these. But I like doing these a lot. These are a lot of fun for me. Because sometimes it's like, I sort of like in this moment, I'm like, oh yeah, this is sort of like a quote unquote rule that I didn't really know about. We did the last one, and then I made a whole short about one of the things. So that was really cool. All right. So we have some ground rules for these, as always. First and foremost, all criticism. CloudTuber, hello. Yours is in here. This is all for constructive criticism. We are all at different parts in our content creation journeys. And so this is a place we are not, all criticism is meant to be constructive. And that is, you know, everybody that's kind of signed up to, that's given videos is kind of like signed up for that, right? But we're all being cool, we're being nice, we're not, you know, whatever. And then additionally, yeah, we're just gonna go until we either hit the time. I usually stream for about 3 hours, or if we kind of reach the end of these. So let's just, I'm gonna leave the music going just very slightly in the background, but if it is too loud, let me know. All right, so first up, I've kind of organized these in a way that I think will be good and nice. So first up, we have Jenna Flames from TikTok. We're just gonna watch this first, and then we'll kind of make some adjustmons. All right, so here we go.
Hey, we don't need to confirm that I'm a bottom. Everybody knows that I'm a bottom.
Yeah?
Yes, I can.
Are you
shout
a good
out
little
choice
bottom
for me.
balloon? Yeah?
All right, so that's pretty straightforward. We have a couple sussy things being said, right? So that's sort of the crux of this. I think first and foremost, the volume on this guy is a little low. It's not like that bad, but especially because I think some of this was probably coming through Discord or whatever. The volume's not quite level, so that's pretty easy. We can kind of just we're just gonna audio gain. I'm gonna say 6, and that's gonna be probably a little too loud, but we are also going to add a hard limiter. So these are things that just come with Premiere. Oh, audio. We'll go down here, and there are other ways to do this. You could kind of really fine-tune this if you wanted, but a lot of times I find that this is just the easiest thing to do. We're going to put this hard limiter at like -3, and then we're going to listen to this again.
Hey, we don't need to confirm that I'm a bottom. Everybody knows that I'm a bottom.
Yeah?
Yes, I can.
Are you
shout
a
out
good little
choice.
bottom?
So that looks a lot better. It might be a little loud now, so I'm actually going to adjust. I'm going to lower everything by 3, maybe.
Hey, we don't need to confirm that I'm a bottom. Everybody knows that I'm a bottom.
Yeah?
Yes, I
Are
can.
you
shout
No, I think that was better before.
Hey, we don't need to confirm that I'm a bottom. Everybody knows.
Okay, that looks pretty good. Sussy! Sussy! Alright, so then we have sort of the... So I think that there are different things you can do with the sort of different types of model that you have. So we have the everybody here is effectively a PNG tuber, right? So sort of the how do I say? Sort of the visual dynamicy. I don't know if that's the word I always want to use. I don't think that's a word. But the visual dynamics of kind of having a model that moves does a lot of the heavy lifting if you have one, as far as like you could just sort of have it be on your model and your model's moving and then something's happening. But if you have a PNG tuber, you don't sort of have that luxury, right? So what we can do in instances like this is kind of cheat a lot of these effects with camera moves. Additionally, and kind of like these will all kind of intertwine together. Drink water. Yeah, it's a hydrate check. Thank you. I got a whole cuppo. Additionally, it looks like they're playing Overwatch back here. But nothing about the game, nothing about what is happening in the game is relevant to what they're talking about. So sometimes, like, you can get away with that if, like, the visuals are interesting and, like, you're telling a story or whatever, right? You can have, like, the game on the bottom and something on top just so that there is something to look at. But in this instance, like, maybe it looks like it's maybe in between rounds or something. And that's kind of not what we're doing. So in this instance, and this is gonna be kind of fuzzy, because, you know, I don't have the raw footage, obviously, but I feel like starting off on a screen like this is good. This is all in the interest of creating more visual, I don't know what the word is. Fidelity's not right. I just want to make everything as dynamic, as visually dynamic as possible. I think I always start this sentence incorrectly, and that's how I go. I'm a PNG tuber currently, so I'm curious on how I can add some dynamics. Hell yeah, okay. So we're gonna kind of go through this bit by bit.
Hey, we don't need to confirm.
So I think first and foremost, also, I'm kind of saying a lot of the things that I see are kind of trouble areas right at the top, and maybe we can. I'm not gonna like redo the captions or anything, but I am. For me, this is quite a lot of text to have on screen at once. I feel like you could break it up. Like, I think we don't need this little laugh at first.
Hey, we don't need to.
Like, you know, we could break it up into like a hey.
We don't need to.
We don't need to confirm maybe.
To confirm that I'm
and then like you could have one word bottom, like maybe with like one of these, right? And I think that would be.
Hey, we don't need to confirm that I'm a bottom. A bottom.
We're gonna fix this. If you hold down Control while you're in between clips, you can kind of just nudge both instead of having to like do this sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Bottom. Everybody. Bottom.
And then we are going to. So I'm going to kind of cheat this. So right now, I think it's okay to establish like, hey, there's a few people talking.
Hey, we don't need to.
Also, if you hear this kind of stuttering, I don't know what it is. Whenever I'm streaming and I have Premiere open, sometimes the certain parts stutter. It is inconsistent. I don't know what to do about it. I'm sorry. Coops, hello, welcome. Okay.
Hey, we don't need to.
See, like right there, there's like a double, but that's not in the actual video.
Hey, we don't need to.
So we can. So I have my. I might stumble because I have this set up. All my windows are at different places, but we can kind of like. Yeah, Balloon is the one talking. So like in this instance, we can kind of like.
Hey, we don't need to confirm that I'm a bot.
And we can. I'm gonna copy the motion from that. We're gonna paste it here, and then we're gonna zoom in even more. That's just a sort of a mental note of like, because sometimes if I'm just doing it raw, I don't zoom in like enough, so I want to make sure that it's a drastic enough kind of thing. So I'm gonna search for Vine Boom. These are some of the sound effects I have curated. I'm hoping, I don't know if I'll have time for it this week, just as an aside. People have been asking about a video for YouTube on sound effects, so that is on the docket. I am looking forward to having that video finished on kind of how I get sound effects and how I like use sound effects. So some of these might be I might be having a little free giveaway sound effect thing. But I'm getting I'm doing like a million tangents right now, so excuse me.
Confirm that I'm a bottom.
Okay. We're going to lower the volume on this guy a little bit because that is too loud.
Confirm that I'm a bottom. Everybody knows that.
I also think it's always funny to cut off these sound effects early. But for me, there's sort of like rules to how you do that. You can, I think that like it cuts off, but if you cut it off at a a point where like the more dialogue is happening. So like I think that this sounds better,
I'm a bottom. Everybody,
even though it kind of extends into the next clip. I think that sounds better than this.
I'm a bottom. Everybody,
Like it's super duper subtle, but like it goes away. You edit long form content? I kind of do it all. Long form and short form, but I've kind of made like a niche for myself in short form stuff. But I do like doing like clips and long form things. I'm streaming software have interface with video recording programs. Oh, I got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
I'm a bottom. Everybody,
And then we want to... This is... So, the part of the problem here is that this text is, like, overlapping. And maybe they did this in... Because this was from TikTok, so maybe this text was added in TikTok, and that's kind of why it's so much. That would make this sort of make sense. So, to kind of fix that, we're going to cheat this a little bit. I'm actually going to unlink everything. I don't want the audio and the video to be linked for everything. So what we're going to do is I'm going to delete this tiny piece. We are going to press R for the rate stretch tool, and we are going to kind of like slow this bit down. Since nothing like really is moving except for kind of the particles back here, we can get away with cheating the visuals here
bottom. Everybody,
so that we don't have this like awkward,
bottom. Everybody,
this awkward little few frame like
bottom. Everybody,
little you know, extra thing. I'm gonna redo all that. Do you edit long? Oh no, I read that.
bottom. Everybody knows that I'm a bottom.
Yeah.
Confirm that I'm a
Alright.
bottom. Everybody knows that I'm a bottom.
So there's kind of some dead air here. We're gonna cut that out.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Are you?
And this is sort of an awkward thing, just because like
Yeah.
Insane Balloon starts talking again, but it's not captioned, and it isn't really relevant because this is like what we're focusing on.
Yes, I can.
Are you
shout
a
out
good little
choice
bottom
for me.
balloon? Yeah.
So I think to kind of mitigate that,
Yes, I.
we're gonna kind of cut immediately to we're gonna kind of cut this dead air where she's not saying anything, even though he's kind of talking.
Yeah. Are you
Shout
a
out
good little?
choice.
Are you
Shout
a
out-
good? Are you
shout
a
out
good little
choice.
bottom?
So I think we're gonna kind of do like this will be a J cut, just like a tiny bit.
Yeah. Are you? Yeah.
And then we'll kind of L cut it as well.
Yeah.
So now that we kind of have this in place, we're gonna kind of like do the same thing, but for her. And like if we had the raw of this, like, you know, like I assume we'd want like the full body. So we'd cut to the full body shot of her, and be doing these same things, but it would be, you know, we'd have a little more to work with, right?
Yeah. Are you
Shout
a
out
good little
choice
bottom
for me.
balloon?
So we're gonna paste those values.
Yeah. Are you
Shout
a
out
good little
choice
bottom
for me.
balloon?
Oh, I don't care. Goodbye. So in this instance now,
Bottom
there's
balloon.
kind of this big long gap because he's become flustered, right? And I think that we have there's a few ways we could kind of handle this, right? Like I think a lot of times, like, because of the nature of shorts, if nothing's happening for a minute, even like in this instance, it might cause people to lose interest, right? So I think that like doing camera movements or doing something that sort of indicates like to the viewer, like, oh, we're still going, the video's still, we're not done yet, kind of thing, is crucial, right? So there's a few things you could do. Like, I think we're gonna kind of combine a couple of them. First and foremost, I think the Metal Gear sound would be pretty good here. I'm gonna lower it preemptively.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think we're gonna kind of
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit, but I think Dove, hello, welcome, welcome. How are you? You like my formatting? Yeah, this is my I'm streaming format, you know. Cuz I feel like I did the first one and then I kept forgetting to like make this full screen every time. So I was just like, "Oh, let me just I need to I have ADHD, so I need to set up things in a way that like if I forget something, it's fine, you know what I mean? So it could be the kind of thing where, you know, like I'm just gonna go over and see real quick if I can't find Metal Gear exclamation PNG. Is that a PNG? That doesn't look like a PNG. It doesn't need to be this, but like, just since we're in the theme of, I think this is clear. Well, whatever. We'll just make it easy on ourselves. So we will make one with the text tool. So make the text tool just a, let's see. We're gonna lose our stuff for a sec. I'm gonna go over to the graphics area. Our formatting's all crazy. We're gonna make this big red. We're gonna find a font that is actually OB. Probably this font will be good. Yeah, okay, perfect. We're gonna make it centered. We're gonna center it, just so we kind of have a sense of what we're doing here. And now we can go back. So we've made this thing. Thank you, Duff. I appreciate you. So we're gonna cut this to just sort of be the length of this. I think so I have some presets to kind of make this effect, but I'm gonna just show you how I would keyframe this. So this sequence is 30 frames a second. Jay, hello, welcome. So my kind of rule for like transitions in this is in a 30 frames a second or FPS sequence, I think like 3 frames of movement for like something really fast like this, or like zooms, that's like pretty good. And for 60 frames, it's like 4 frames. So none of those two don't match up, but that's kind of like it's kind of like the middle ground. I think 4 frames on 60 FPS is like perfect, but if you're in 30 FPS, then 3 is better than 2 or 4. 4 feels really slow for me. So we're gonna just go ahead 1, 2, 3. I know this is where I want it to land. So now we're gonna go back 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna kind of like lower it like a little bit. And then we're gonna add a cross dissolve. So the default, I think the cross dissolve is the default transition. Shift D, or I think Control. I think it doesn't matter. Control or Shift D, I think on a picture works. On a non-audio clip. So now
A bottom balloon.
we have this quick little thing that we just made.
Balloon.
And then I think I want to cut off this sound, and I want to add one of those bamboo hits, because now it's kind of like, oh god, and then it's like, oh, you know, like that kind of vibe. And then maybe, honestly, he stammers, or they stammer for so long that I feel like, okay, so I feel like, yeah, we're gonna kind of do this slow zoom from the main thing, like going down to him. Oh shoot. See, I accidentally keyframed and I went down, but I didn't set the normal parameters. But that's okay, because I can go back and just hit reset parameters, and it'll put it to normal, but also make a new keyframe. So then we can drag these to these both ends. That bamboo sound, it is my MVP. I use it perhaps too much. I have four different ones because I want them all to, like, they're just like pitched down a little bit so I can like escalate a situation a lot of times.
Yeah.
Um, I think we don't need this last, honestly. But I think, okay, so here's what I want to do. So I have some shake effects. Now, these ones I'm about to show you don't come with Premiere, but I downloaded them from Motion Array, which is dope. If you have the means and you're making a lot of videos, Motion Array is, I think, $250 a year annually, but they have so many assets like B-roll, audio clips, how you say, like effects for all the different editing programs. It's the best. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna nest this clip, and all that is doing is kind of like it's sort of the same thing as making like a subsequence, except the nested clip is now its own like kind of sequence, but it's a nest. It's effectively the same thing, but what it allows us to do is it leaves everything kind of as it was, but now this is a separate clip. And the reason that is important is if I type in shake, you know what? I'll actually undo this so I can show you. So what I want to do... Oh, that's a Twitch follow, I think. Wait, is that a Twitch follow? Should have had those turned off. Hold on. I thought I had all my Twitch stuff turned off. Beans. I guess that's gonna have to just be fine. If that was from here, thank you for the follow. Is that how you get a lot of your sound effects? Well, so not that many, surprisingly, because like it depends on what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for sort of just like a natural, regular kind of a sound effect, like a crowd applause or like rain or something, like I'll typically use Motion Array for that kind of thing. But a lot of their kind of like the sound effects that I would want to use for like transitions, like a magic sparkle or whatever, a lot of times those sounds can be kind of cheesy for me. Like I don't really like, it's sort of hard to describe, but they just don't kind of hit the mark for me, so I don't want to use them. Even though they're like high fidelity and blah blah blah, but like so that's kind of like a lot. It's sort of like a give and take kind of a thing. So I'm gonna use a real just to sort of show you. So right now we have this slow zoom, right? But if I add this camera shake effect to it, what happens is this effect or this like filter or whatever you want to call it, this preset overwrites whatever movement effects I had, because it is affecting the position, rotation, and a few other things, right? So any of my movement keyframes are now lost. So now, but if I nest this, the zoom is, and it's a little hard. I'll use a word, a less intense shake. But now we have the shake and we're zooming in. And so doing things like this is really important. Even if you're not using an effect like this, like, let me just save this image real quick. This is, oh shoot. This is the, come on. Assets, MGS, alert. So I'm going to open this up. We're going to just pretend that this is like an asset I actually want to use. Okay, so we have this little guy. It's not a PNG. Attention gone. So say for example that I wanted this to track with him right now. So what I could do, since I already have this moving, right, I could kind of like, I could pop this in and give me the effect controls. And I can kind of like place it kind of here, we'll say like here-ish, you know. And then we can set the keyframes at the beginning, or actually, yeah, we'll set these here. And then at the end, it's like, oh, okay, I kind of need it to be about here. But I kind of just have to like guess, because I have to change the size and I have to like kind of move it up. So if I play this now, you know what I mean? It's like they don't move together like well. So it's like I could go over here and like, oh, I can kind of adjust this, but you can kind of immediately tell like this isn't like moving correctly. So what I would always rather do is we're gonna undo quite a lot of this. We're gonna drop this in, but we're gonna undo the movement here, and I'm gonna delete these keyframes by hitting the little stopwatch things. I'm gonna put this where I want it. So we'll say like right above him, right? And then we're gonna nest both of these things. So now this is one big nest, and if I now keyframe and zoom in this guy here, everything contained is perfect. So I don't need to worry about like keyframing lots of things if it's gonna be this sort of a situation, right? And then if I need to adjust something, if I'm like, oh, this isn't actually where I want it, I can go in here and like move it up, say, and then it reflects here, right? I've been going to YouTube and recording them with OBS and then taking a video portion. Oh, there's like a ton of websites. Yeah. Any of the, if you just type in like YouTube MP3, you'll get like a ton of these websites that will just do that work for you. And most of them are fine. I have two that I use that don't really have any I've never really had any problems with. They work most of the time and they don't have any limits and anything like that. There's one for video and then one for audio. So if I just need like a quick MP3, I have one that's like my favorite one. But that's kind of how like nesting works. I was sort of in a tangent a little bit because I don't actually think that it needs this, so we can just mute that. But that is how that works. And then if I want to then cut this up, so what I want to do is add a few different shakes. But I want it to get more intense. So I just know, because I've used a lot of these, that this is a good one, a good shake effect. Oh, shoot. You know what? I've made a mistake yet again. Okay, hold on. So I now need to, because I have this moving on the nest, we're just going to nest it again. And now I can kind of do what I was going to do. So we're going to kind of, you can nest things sort of an infinite amount of time. So right now I have this guy set up. And then that looks pretty good. This is going to be pretty intense, and this is the most intense. So we're going to kind of ramp up an intensity to kind of like sell this like,
Yeah.
And then I think that we're gonna J cut over here.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, something like this.
Yeah.
And then I think, so now we have something that looks a lot more like this.
Hey, we don't need to confirm that I'm a bottom. Everybody knows that I'm a bottom.
And then, truthfully, I feel like it's rough because I feel like I want to pull this back a single frame. And then I think that that will make it sound a little more like it's landing right where it's supposed to. Use an extension? Yeah, there are extensions that do that kind of thing too.
Hey, we don't need to confirm that I'm a bottom. Everybody knows that I'm a bottom.
Yeah. Are you a
Shout
good
out
little
choice
bottom
for me.
balloon? Yeah.
And then, truthfully, I think we could also add like a lower pitched bamboo sound once we get here.
Yeah.
And then I think that's it. Like this is sort of like for what we have here. We've kind of, we've run through a few things. I think that the text should be broken up more significantly, but that is a huge pain in the butt if you're doing it through the app, right? So I get that.
Yeah.
It's the timing and all that stuff. I do like that the different speakers have different font colors, and different font styles even. That's pretty good. I think there are some that we'll get to that like kind of don't follow that rule, and I think that it is pretty important. if you have like chat speaking or like another person speaking, that it's like differentiated. So there we have it. That is that. That is what I would say for that guy. All right, here we go. We got friend of the show, Yuchi, with a Genshin one. I think this is, yeah, this is Genshin. This must be. maybe this is Star Rail. I don't know. He has a cell phone.
Look at his phone case. It's literally nothing. It's just the colors of his hair. A boring man. Probably has a default wallpaper too. Honestly, he probably does. We love a hot, boring man. Like, yes, king, give us nothing.
Alright, so, I like a lot about this. I like the composition. I think when you're doing this sort of a thing, I kind of, like, often don't necessarily advise that people put their, like, Twitch stuff in here, but, you know, it's, I think in this instance, like, I think this is the one sort of, way that you can get away with it, when you kind of put it right here. So this kind of has a couple of my heads up notes on this one are the same kind of a thing. I don't think it needs to be this composition the entire time. I think like
Look at his phone case.
Like I think when we cut to the phone case, it could be the whole screen, right?
Phone case.
Like if we, you know, if we were to kind of cheat it in such a way, you know, we could do something like this. You wouldn't want it that zoomed in, but assuming we have the full screen, like you could put it somewhere like this.
Look at his phone case.
Look at his
Look
phone
at his
case.
phone case.
And then just some sort of like some sort of a sound to indicate here.
Look at his phone case. It's literally nothing. It's just the colors of his hair. A boring man.
Life of Misery, hello. We got started about half an hour ago. How are you? So I'm seeing a lot of in this one as well. Like I think this could be like a little bit snappier. It's not like bad, but I'm gonna kind of cheat in some like I'm gonna tighten this up like a little bit. And it's probably not gonna match with the on-screen words, but that's okay. Which is sort of as a note, it's like I don't think this is necessarily a bad place to put the text, but it might sort of do better kind of like right here. Like a lot of times if you don't have your Twitch banner here, I would recommend like putting your text like kind of in this area, you know what I mean? Because it keeps it centered, and then like in the middle for sure, like on TikTok or anywhere, nothing's going to be covering this up. Like this is sort of in what I'd call the yellow zone for TikTok, just because like TikTok has so much text and crap down here that it's difficult to it might be covered up by words depending on how many words you put in the definition or the description, I should say. Kev, hello, welcome. Hello. Okay, so we're gonna kind of yeah, we're gonna extend these out. Especially on like S sounds, like words that end in like S sounds, like case. You can get away with like this is, it's like 6 frames or something. Like we don't need to finish hearing this sound before we go do another thing. Ida, hello, welcome.
It's literally nothing. It's just the color.
All right, so nothing. We'll put this here.
Literally nothing. It's just the colors of his hair.
This is also a little bit of a rough one. This isn't going to be something I can like kind of fix so easily here, but just sort of to note it, right? And again, these are like kind of more nitpicky things, so I think as a whole this isn't a bad short or anything. But like we have this little bit where the subject goes away. So if I had the raw footage, I would like try to, because I think what happened is like we're in the menu and then we've left the menu, so that's kind of what because you can see it up here too. So that's kind of what we have to work with, but I don't think that we as content creators, as video makers, should put up with that. So if we had the raw footage, we could kind of like, I'm gonna just assume, you know what I'll do? We are gonna cheat. We're gonna cheat this big time. I'm gonna mute the bottom one, and we are going to do a crop on just this top one. And we are gonna get rid of the top. We're gonna get rid of about there. And that might not be like perfect, but it's close enough. We're gonna unmute the bottom. Yeah, that looks good enough. So
It's just the colors of
so once this starts moving, I'm gonna make a cut. And then right after we cut away, I'm gonna make another cut. We're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna rate. Oh, did I do this wrong? But wait. Oh, I think I did this backwards. I see. So I want this to be. Yeah. 50. What's opposite? That's 57.3, I think. So 57.3, we put this back to 0. There we go. And then if I stretch this out, yeah, okay, perfect. So now I've kind of like I've lowered the speed of this section of this clip to 60%. And
it's
now
just the colors of his hair.
So now it doesn't cut to this other screen, except sometimes when you speed ramp, it kind of doesn't work 100%, so you can just kind of inch it over a little more.
The colors of his hair.
And this looks a little kind of jaggy, but like I think that this looks better than cutting to this other thing with the subtitles still there, you know what I mean? So kind of small things like that can kind of make a big difference in my opinion.
It's just the colors of his hair. A boring man. A boring man.
I also feel we've censored the word ass here, but I think that, and as such, it doesn't appear on screen, but I think it's like kind of important. So I feel like to maybe amp up the comedy a little bit, you could put like a picture of a donkey or something. You say like a donkey man, you know what I mean? Like that kind of a thing. Instead of just like, I feel like a lot of times you can make a thing funny with the limitations that you have, and the limitations of like not wanting to swear on the internet, you know, in so many words, to not get in trouble with whatever platform you're on. You can like use those opportunities to like make something funnier happen than if you could just say the word, if that makes sense. So like things like that, it's like, oh, if I put a donkey, or if I like censored it, or if the word that showed up on screen was like the wrong word but like different, you know, like if you typed in booty or something, then that would be funny. Just like every opportunity to kind of put a tiny little joke. Nox, hello, welcome. You love my eye colors. Woo, 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 woo. They changed colors. How are you?
A boring man. Probably man.
So then there's like,
Man.
then we kind of have like, don't want to see all this. And now I think we have chat talking, and it's in quotes, which is like, enough to signify, but like it's the same color, and if you kind of missed the quotes, it's not like super clear that she's like reading something. So a lot of times, like I would change like the inside color, but I'd also maybe write like chat : kind of thing. I'm good. I'm doing excellent. I'm having a grand old time. I love doing these streams in particular. I don't do them that often. So yeah, so I think like changing the text color here would be good. I don't know if I can illustrate that, but I'm gonna try real fast. Change to color. This is change to color, so I'm gonna see. This might not work at all. It's not like that important that this works. Oh yeah. But we're gonna change it to like kind of like a bright yellow. But then additionally, I'm going to... This doesn't, like, really work at all, but just for the sake of, like, something. Oh, that looks really bad. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. J-Mama, hello! Welcome, good morning. But, you know, in any case, it's like, even if you're just, like, just any sort of differentiation, I think can go a long way.
Honestly, he probably does. We love...
And then there's just some more kind of, like, dead air here. I think there's like kind of the end of some words here, so we're actually going to do like this. Put that back together.
Probably does. We love a hot, boring man.
We love a hot, boring man.
Love a hot, boring man. Boring man.
We love a hot, boring
like,
man.
Yes, king. Give us nothing.
And then I think at the end we hang for just a little too long. Once your short is done, end it. Don't let any air hang. That is one of my top rules. This is so informative. Hell yeah, I'm so glad. Thank you. Whoa! Not subscribed. Hey, thank you. That alert does work. I'm glad. I set up these alerts like a month ago, and I've had one stream. Oh, we got subscribers. Hell yeah, thank you all so much. Loading user profile in this economy. Okay, so what program? I'm using Adobe Premiere. This is Adobe Premiere.
Nothing.
So like, if I think like so there's a few things we can kind of do to really land this ending.
A hot, boring love. A hot.
I feel like we can kind of do a similar thing that we were doing in the last one. A hot.
Boring.
I'm gonna copy this to make sure that we're going in.
Boring man.
And this might be a little too intense. Boring man.
And like, yes, king. Give us nothing.
Okay. Let's kind of adjust this over here. Okay, so I think...
A hot, boring man.
So this is like fine.
A hot, boring man.
But I think we can really key this up with some sound effects. So I think for this thing, I have a bunch of slaps. Now these slaps did come from Motion Array. I have the slaps and the whooshes that I use are all from that Motion Array site. So there's a few in here that I know are really fast. So that one's a heavier one. I kind of just know that a lot of these are... because I've used these sound effects so often, so... okay.
Does he love a hot, boring man? Love a hot...
See, and now that I've cut this, but this doesn't feel right to me. I think what I need to do is... cut it on the word hot instead. But I think I've also covered up an edit here. So let's see if I can get away with leaving this... oh, shoot. Leaving this, as is.
A hot... A hot...
Yeah, this is a little awkward.
We love... A hot... We love... A hot... Hot...
So it's stuff like this where I run into a lot of decision makings. Like, maybe I can just... because this isn't... I set all this up, and none of this sort of feels quite right to me. Have to get back at work. Yeah, nice meeting you as well. Hell yeah. I'll be going for another couple hours, probably. At this rate, anyway, especially. I've done, like, 2 videos. Okay.
We love a hot, boring man.
Okay, that works okay. I think even though it isn't on the zoom... I think it's better for the slap sound to land on hot. I'm gonna lower these very slightly. Like 3 and change. Have I ever been given a clip I couldn't save with editing? Sometimes I would say that, like, a lot of times I have clients that are like, hey, I have these clips, but I'm not sure.
A hot, boring man.
Like, I'm not sure if this is worth it. Usually, like, what I am given is, if it's like not quite right, it's really more of a story thing. Because if people are like, hey, does this work? If they're like asking me, then I'll tell them like, hey, I don't know if this is like gonna like be worth it. Because I feel like I have a whole video on the YouTube channel about like how I feel a lot of shorts sort of need an arc. And a lot of times, like, you can get away with, like, not sort of having all the pieces. I think if you have all the pieces of an arc, so a setup, the build, and then sort of like a proper punchline, and then you're done with the short. I think those are, like, the best kinds of shorts, typically. As far as, like, this kind of thing, like, the kind of thing that we're doing here as streamers, VTubers, content creators, that kind of thing. But, what I find I have trouble with a lot of time is like, oh, I don't know what, it's either that or there's not enough context. So it's like, there's either like, hey, this is sort of a funny thing, but nothing happens with it really, or I don't have enough context for what's happening. And so I can't, I don't know if I've watched this thing 3 or 4 times that you've sent me, client, and I don't know what's, like, happening. I don't know how you want me to convey that to the viewer when I can't even, like, figure it out. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff like that we run into. I think there's, like, some examples of this coming up as well, but, to sort of a lesser extent. Everything we got today, I feel like I can work with pretty well. Okay, so I've added this boom now. Because the boom is just always funny. I don't know what to tell you. So we go.
Love a hot, boring man. Like, yes, king. Give us nothing.
And then I think last but not least, she's laughing. We want to end on something a little exciting. So I'm going to nest. We're going to zoom in. I'm going to nest this. And then we're going to add a shake while she's laughing. And I think if I had something like a laugh emote from her, then like putting that up on screen, like the wheeze, like the kind of thing, I think that could be really funny also if that sort of showed up on screen.
Nothing.
Well, that's not very, hold on, that's the wrong shake. This is also like really short,
That's
so
nothing.
yeah, I think maybe we need to make this a little bit longer.
Give us nothing.
Yeah, she just doesn't like laugh for very long. But maybe we can I can cheat this. We can cheat this too. So we're gonna make the laugh come in like a few frames before it was like supposed to.
Nothing.
Okay, yeah. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna raise the volume on
Give
that.
us nothing.
Like, I don't want this to sound crazy, but yeah, there we go. Okay, so we now kind of have something that looks like this. And a lot of these changes were pretty, like, minor, honestly.
Look at his phone case. It's literally nothing. It's just the colors of his hair. A boring man.
And then I think we have SpongeBob. The SpongeBob sound, sad face. SpongeBob sad face. This sound.
Literally nothing. It's just the colors of his.
So when she says hair, we're gonna put this in here. Lower it a little bit, because the volume on this is also still a little bit low.
Too. Honestly, he probably. Look at his phone case. It's literally nothing. It's just the colors of his hair. A boring man. Probably has a default wallpaper.
Oh, and then you can pull this in pretty significantly.
Boring man. Probably has a default wallpaper too. Honestly, he probably does. We love a hot, boring man. Like, yes, king, give us nothing.
I think also, like, it could be the kind of thing where, like, maybe you Google, like, default phone wallpaper, and you might find a picture of, like, something really boring looking. You could put that up on screen in this moment. Just stuff to really, like, you know, things that won't take that long to do. Like, and this is all assuming, again, like I do my best in these workshops to not, like, use other programs. Like, you know, I have the whole suite. I have Photoshop, I have the sound program and all that stuff. But I try to make sure everything that I advise y'all is stuff you can do within Photoshop, or within Premiere, I should say. But, like, you know, that's the kind of thing, like, you could find, like, I don't know what happens when I search for that. Default phone wallpaper. We go to the image. It's like, you can find something that looks kind of boring, right? Like, that's, like, you know, whatever. Like, you could maybe, like, find something like this. There's a lot of, like, these kind of things. Maybe just, like, you know, this. And just kind of, like, put that up on screen, like, have it kind of fly up, that kind of thing. And that can really, like, add a little bit. It adds more than it feels like it will, and that kind of a thing won't take that long. But it'll add a lot more than sort of the time it takes to do. So those are my thoughts on Yuchi's short. We are going to move on. We got, this is ClownTuber. ClownTuber was here. Oh, ClownTuber's for sure active and right here. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, hell yeah. So here we go. So right off the bat, before I even play this, right off the bat, this one is a little loud. If I just start playing it, you'll see up here, or maybe you will.
Me and this clown got beef. Come here.
Yeah, so if the audio peaks, if the audio clips, this top bit here will get red and stay red, so I can click on it to, like, make it go away. So I can just lower the volume a little bit.
Clown got beef. Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him.
And that'll just be fine. I was gonna add another limiter, but this will work fine. It's all pretty consistent at the very least. So okay.
Me and this clown got beef. Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him. Oh. Frick, he got me. Alright. I'll go. Whatever. He really said only one clown can win.
So I like this one a lot. I think that the text stuff is good, though. I would put the text here rather than here. This is gonna be too low for TikTok. Like, for sure. So I think you kind of have, like, you know, this space where the hat is up here that I think the text would fit a lot better.
Got beef. Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him.
So really, I think this one has kind of, like, you know, we have a setup.
Me and this clown got beef. Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him.
We have the bit.
He got me. Alright. I'll go. Whatever. He really said only one clown can win.
I feel like really the majority of my advice here is kind of like just like sweetening kind of what we have and adjusting the story, like really leaning into the story here, right? So what is the story? Like, this feels all, I don't know, how do I say? I think everything, even if it feels silly, can be broken down into, like, what is the story, right? So, like, if we go back to the previous examples, what is the story? It's like, okay, red-haired VTuber flusters bottom balloon boy, right? What is the story of this one? It's like, okay, we are making fun of this guy because of how boring he is, right? So what is the story here? You fight a clown, the clown wins, and it's sad. So I think that we can lean into that story, right? So So once you kind of land over here, I'm gonna add the classic Minecraft oof.
Frick, he got me. Alright, I'll go.
So, like, I don't know. It feels like this music has been added in after the fact. I feel like what would make this very funny, what would make this even more funny, I should say, is once you lose this fight, right? It's sad. We are sad now, right? So, like, how do we emphasize that? The music stops. Like, and I can't make that happen, right? Because everything's baked in, but...
Frick, he got me. Alright.
How do we emphasize this?
I'll go. Whatever. You really said...
Like...
I'll go.
I feel like we could add... a black and white filter now.
Right. I'll go. Whatever. You really said only one clown can win.
And I do like this end line. I think that's a good capstone. But like...
Alright, I'll go. Whatever.
So it's like, if...
Frick, he got me.
I feel like we hear the oof, the sound stop, like the music stops.
Frick, he got me. Alright.
And then maybe,
I'll go.
like, depending
I'll
on
go.
how kind of, like, Nonsen takes notes. Depending on how, like, you know, like, through that motion erase side I keep talking about, they have, like, rain overlays that are already, like, the alpha channel's already been kind of figured out. So you could just drag and drop, like, some rain on here. You could put, like, a sad song instead of the silence.
Whatever. You really said only one clown can win. I'll go. Frick, he got me. Alright, I'll go. Whatever.
And then I think...
I'll go. Whatever. I'll go.
Yeah, I think there's also just sort of, like, an amount of dead space that could be, like... Every time I fast forward how?
I'll go. Whatever. You really said only one. Whatever. You really said.
Yeah, and then I think we kind of like... I think just speeding this up a little bit is... I think the beginning's, like, pretty tight.
Me and this clown got beef. Come here. Let me at him.
Because, like, sometimes I feel like... This is also sort of another thing, right? Because, like... Let's, we're exactly at 135, so that'll give us a good time indicator.
Me and this clown got beef.
So, in basically 1 second, we have the context, right? Oh, when I go like this.
Me and this clown got beef. Come here. Me and this clown got beef.
Like, this isn't that... So sometimes, like, when... I'll see TikToks where it's like, we need some context from the game, but we're like, we start on the VTuber's, like, face, and we're kind of there for maybe too long, but this isn't that, right?
Me and this clown got beef.
And then I'm actually gonna... Yeah, we're gonna...
Me and this clown got beef. Come here.
So I think this is enough, like 1 second is enough, is like short enough for, I think, for the majority of people to not necessarily, but before you move on to something else, I think that is a fine enough time to set up the scene.
Me and this clown got beef. Come here, let me at him.
Like, I don't know what this game is, I don't really know what's happening, but I don't need to know, because all that I need to know is that you're joking around and fighting this clown. And then you didn't know that the clown would fight back, or maybe you would. I don't know what this... I don't know what kind of game this is, but, like...
Let me at him. Frick, he got me. Alright, I'll go. Whatever. You really said only one clown can win.
So I think with these... With those sort of... it's unfortunate I can't really make a lot of the changes I described just because they're baked into the sound. But
Me and this clown got beef. Come here. Let me at him. Let me.
and there's just some other things like, you know, it's like it's sort of a coin toss on kind of how you feel. I think like it could be funnier even still if, like, I don't know, there was like a cow. Me and this clown got beef. You have like a picture of a cow, maybe a mooing sound effect, you know. Just things right at the front to just like, if somebody is like interested, great. If somebody's confused, they probably stick around. To be like, what? Huh? What? Beef? Oh, you mean like fighting beef? And then like, you know, and then like anything to like kind of like hook them in. Like this, they always say the first 3 seconds are the most important. It's really like, it can't be overstated like how important that time is. So I think that
Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him.
in these first 3 seconds
Me and this clown
now,
got beef. Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him.
like within just over 3 seconds, we are kind of in the joke, right? Like maybe this could be shortened a little bit. Just very slightly.
Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him.
And then I almost kind of like that this is happening with your audio cue, right? So like,
Let me at him. Frick, he got me. Alright, I'll go. Whatever. He really said only one clown can win.
I think the timing of this kind of makes it snappier, but it also kind of makes it like a little bit funnier.
Me and this clown got beef. Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him.
Music stops.
Frick.
Like I don't know. I'm just thinking of a lot of possibilities. You could have like the GTA like wasted kind of thing happen, and then we continue. Though, as I always kind of say with inserts, like I don't think inserts that take over where it's like you're not talking. It is just like you would insert the clip just in between and not like over something. I think that you want those to be like very, very fast. You don't want those to last too long. No more than like maybe 3 seconds tops, but in most situations I'd say like 1 or 2 seconds. It's all, you know, of course, contextual. So I think that's kind of what we'll watch this, but it's not like quite, you know, I have to put on our imagination caps a little
Me
bit.
and this clown got beef. Come here. Let me at him. Let me at him. Frick, he got me. Alright, I'll go. Whatever. He really said only one clown can win.
All right, and there we have it. Okay, cool. We got Coops up next. Coops, baby, Coops, baby. All right. This is not Coops' first submission. Hell yeah, love it.
I mean, Shadows is like one of my favorite maps, so that was all I really needed, honestly.
Is that sarcasm?
No, I'm dead ass. Oh, do you not like Shadows? Is that sarcasm? You gave like a second too. That's funny. Oh shit.
If you don't like shadows, I might
I
have
thought
to
I
block
had
you on
sauce
all
for a
sorts.
sec.
It's not bad. I think you couldn't do it like an Easter egg
Dude,
without
you got
four
Jeff
people.
Goldblum on it. It's the best map of all time. Come on now.
So, this is a situation where I don't really know what we're talking about. After watching this a few times, and Coops, you'll probably have to correct me here. I'm assuming that this is a map in, you know, a shooter game. And you kind of show up here
Shadows is like one...
Shadows of Evil, but like you say it's a map, so like I don't know if this is like, this kind of looks like game art, but I don't think that it is, right? So I'm kind of just like, I'm a little like, just from a having enough context section, I'm a little lost from the get-go.
I mean, Shadows is like one of my favorite maps, so that was all I really needed, honestly.
And we're starting, we can tell as a viewer, like for sure that we're starting in the middle of a conversation, which that's completely fine.
I mean, Shadows is like one of my favorite maps, so that was all I really needed, honestly.
So I think like,
I mean, Shadows is like one of my favorite maps, so that was all I really needed, honestly.
Is that sarcasm?
like this is the kind of thing too where it's like, I like that we are zooming in so that it's like, and we have the dots that are increasing, you know what I mean?
Is that sarcasm?
So again, with the bamboo, it's like bamboo or a similar sound effect.
Is that?
Oh, this is fine. We're gonna kind of raise the volume here, like kind of a lot.
Is that sarcasm?
No.
Is that sarcasm?
And then we get it's that sarcasm.
No.
Is that sarcasm?
No, dumb dead ass. No, dumb dead ass.
This is also another situation where
No, dumb dead ass.
like we kind of cut in the middle. But the boom and the zoom are like in the second half of Deadass, where I think it should be like if you're gonna do it in the middle instead of in the like boom I'm Deadass. Like I think it should be just at the beginning of the word Deadass and not in the middle. Makes more sense if you know like zombies. Is this like Call of Duty or what is this? Because I still don't know, you know?
No, dumb dead ass. Dumb dead ass.
Yeah, so I think so. Just sort of a few points here. It's like, regardless of where you choose to zoom it in, I don't think you should choose. I don't think you should zoom in the middle of a word. But I mean, deadass is sort of a fake word, I guess. Just anyway, but like it's a made-up word. But in any case, like I don't like it. It looks sort of awkward when you are zooming and the text is the same. So it's like, I would break it up like I'm, and then dead ass, right? Like in two big chunks. Odd zombies? Okay. Gotcha. So I think having that kind of a thing would like help. Like if you, I guess it's sort of the situation of like, you know, who is this short for? And in this instance, it's kind of only for people that know about the Call of Duty Zombies maps. And I think just sort of like, if you don't know about that, then it almost feels like, oh, this isn't for me. But if you're giving the context, it's like you showed the picture of the map poster or, you know, whatever. But like I have no way of knowing that this is Call of Duty outside of you telling me. So it kind of spoils it. Spoils it when it's all there. I will say sometimes for shorts, like spoiling the thing at the beginning is like a good thing to do. I mean, this isn't really that kind of a thing, but like a lot of times it's like, you know, you'll see artists and they'll like they'll do a speed or a time lapse, I should say, and then they show you the finished picture for like a second at the beginning, you know, and then you're like, oh hell, I will sit here and watch this so that I can see the picture again. And that's sort of a specific example, but like that kind of thing, I feel like how do I say, like we're so spoiler centric as a society, you know what I mean? Like so spoiler conscious maybe, that we don't want to spoil the ending, and like the ending of it. Oh yeah, it spoils it when it's there. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So that is why I kind of like feel like I'm dead ass. It's serious, you know. So let's just cheat it. So we'll get rid of this.
No, dumb dead ass.
Actually, come on. Get out of there.
No, dumb dead ass.
And then you'd put the, oh jeez. So this is, I see what's happening. So.
Oh, dumb dead ass. Dumb dead ass.
Oh, wait. I see what's happening. So we have, is this I didn't realize there was more. Let's put this back to 100. Okay. Okay, so we'll cut this, and then we will speed ramp all of this.
Oh, I'm dead ass. Oh, do you not like shadows? Is that sarcasm? Okay, you. Oh, do you not like shadows? Is that sarcasm? Okay, you gave it like a second too. That's funny. Oh shit.
You don't like shadows, I might
I
have
thought
to
I
block
had
you on
sauce
this
for a
one.
sec.
It's not bad. I think you could do it like an Easter egg
Dude,
without
you got
four
Jeff
people.
Goldblum on it. It's the best map of all time. Come on now.
Yeah, it's like I guess like this might just be an instance of like, hey, this is like just so completely about a topic that I don't know a lot about. Like I haven't played a zombies game in like 8 years or something. Something like that. I haven't played a Call of Duty game in just about as long. So it might just sort of be like that's kind of what we're doing. But I will say, even sort of in spite of all that, I think that I like a lot about what we're doing here. I don't know what this line is. I don't know that whoever's saying this, I don't know if this is adding anything to the story, right? Which is the story of here is like, hey, I like this map. Other guy doesn't like this map. We joke about that. And it's like
Sauce for a sec.
It's not bad. I think you could do it like an Easter egg
Dude,
without
you got
four
Jeff
people.
Goldblum on it. It's the best map of all time. Come on now.
I also think like in this instance, like I don't think it's bad or anything that these images are up here and they appear very nicely. They're masked. I can see the kind of feather edge here. But it could just sort of also be the kind of thing where this takes over the whole screen. You know, it's like that'll add more visual dynamics to your short, as well as, you know, we get a break from kind of seeing everybody. But I do like the text placement. I like in general that it shows up that we have different fonts and things. I would just be careful of things like punctuation. Maybe that was a conscious choice, but like I'm and don't have like the apostrophe, things like that. And like capitalizing, like, you know, I don't know. Depending on like what, maybe these are conscious choices, but like these are just small things I'm noticing. It kind of isn't, but I didn't know if I should include it or not. Can't really lower his line. I think so you as the editor have all the power in the world to draw attention to what you want to draw attention to, and to conversely to, you know, try and like put something to not, you know, to defocus on something that you don't want to focus on. So, you know, especially due to the fact that there's crosstalk here, it's like, what do I need to focus on? Is it this or is it this? And because they're both here, and I don't really have enough time to read them both. I'm also not sure. Is this might just be the word sauce misspelled. Or if this is a Call of Duty thing, like I'm unaware. I apologize. But you know, like it's like, oh, is what this is not? Does it not matter? Like, you don't have to include it. Like you get to choose what to shine a light on. And so I think making those decisions, learning like when and where to make those kinds of decisions is really important. So I think that's a lot. There's not a lot. We could trim this up, but like you kind of get the idea. I don't want to have us sit here and like just do a lot of trimming on all these shorts. But those are kind of like the main sort of things. I also don't know, you know, like maybe what was being said right before this would be, I can also see like, you know, it's like maybe just to add some context, like while y'all are talking, like you could find some clip of this level and like include a couple seconds of it or something. That you know, these are sort of like the kinds of things, because like I don't assume that's the level you're playing right now. You're just talking about it, but but you know, it's the kind of thing. It's like, oh, that'll give additional context. Like
This is like one of my favorite maps. So
it's one of my favorite maps.
Needed. This is like one of my favorite maps.
Like for it from here to
So
here.
that was all I really needed, honestly.
Maybe if you wanted to, you could like put a full screen of that map, and then maybe like put the box of whatever game it came from, kind of thing. Like, you know, shooting some zombies. Like, I think right at the front, that kind of like context, like most people will get that. Whereas this, I'm just like, this looks like a movie poster, but you say map, and so I'm like, I'm spending mental energy trying to like figure out what we're talking about still. And you know, like your viewer is not like stupid. Like your average viewer isn't like, you know, you have to presume that they're like not an idiot. But at the same time, you want to kind of like make things as easy as possible for everybody. You know what I mean? So these are sort of the challenges that I see you faced, and like that's kind of like what I might do to try and jazz this up a little more. It could also be the kind, you know, like I'm kind of looking at this again. Like most of you are, you know, you're so low, and that's completely fine because you don't want to, like, in a general sense, you for sure don't want to be like, come on, you don't want to be. Even to get the kind of framing a little better, like obviously you're getting real blurry if you do this. So I think that this is fine, but what this does allow you to do is like you could put anything up here. Like I think the text right about here is pretty perfect. For everybody involved, you know. And then like depending on you know, like you kind of do it a little bit already, like you're putting graphics and things up here. But like you could just go really wild with it if you know whatever you had going on. You just have all this real estate, right? So that's kind of how I feel. Those are my thoughts on this guy. I think like for the most part, like trying to add more context, finding more things to kind of like sell what the story is of your short, and you know, maybe some sound effects and maybe whatever else. Just those kinds of things. All right, baby. Who's next? All right, so this is from an editor of Nene Amano. I've done some shorts. I'm in a unique position right now where I have edited some shorts for Nene in the past. And so I kind of have a little more of an inside baseball approach to this. So we're just going to watch this. I'm going to I can see immediately that this is pretty low. So we're going to maybe raise it up by 9. Okay, yeah. All right, here we go.
It happened again, where I have the weird dreams and I want to know what happens next, so I'm like, I have to go back. They're waiting for me. This time the dream was like, I've never seen The Godfather, where they're like, I'm gonna make you a deal, kind of thing. For some reason that was happening, and I was like on the side, watching that. I needed to know what the deal was, but like, I woke up, so I'm sad. I couldn't even figure out the offer that they couldn't refuse.
All right, so with this guy, there's a lot to like. We've got a ton of graphic stuff going on. I like the sound effects. I typically like how the text looks. Sometimes it's a little low. If work on making things without context easier for peeps. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of times, like, and you know, I've certainly also been through this. It's like picking clips that are like quote unquote worth it is difficult. Finding clips that you want to turn into a short that you think are like good enough to be a short is tough. Because it's like a lot of times, like what I see people do, what I see streamers do specifically is like they don't really know. Like they're like, oh, this was a funny moment, and like my community, somebody in my community clipped it. But maybe it's like not, and I'm not saying this is what happened here with yours or anything, but like a lot of times, like they're like, oh, okay, this is funny. I think this is funny because my community thinks this is funny, and that means it's funny. When maybe it's kind of just funny to like their community, like it's an inside joke kind of a thing. And maybe it won't translate well to a broader audience. and or like again, like a lot of times, like sometimes an inside joke is the joke. It's the whole thing. It doesn't need a punchline. The inside joke is that you said the thing that talks about the inside joke. So sort of therefore, there's not often a punchline, an ending thing to end the short with. So I don't know. I'm rambling a little bit, but those are kind of things to like think about. So I like a lot about a lot of this is kind of just going to be me nitpicking, honestly. I think that the text is almost like, I think it's almost too big. Like you know, like you're on a phone, assuming you're on a phone, right? Like I feel like your text can be a lot smaller than you think it needs to be. Like I could see putting both these lines of text like on a, you know, the space that one of these would take. But in a general sense, I don't want to, like, this is just on the precipice of being too low right here. This is too high for the most part. Like I don't know that Nene's uploading to TikTok, so these things are a little more acceptable on YouTube specifically. That's one of the hardest parts, deciding what is going to work as well as a clip to edit. It's real rough. I have a whole video on my channel, and you know, I will plugging. It's been an hour. I'll plug my stuff again real fast. I have new editing services, a YouTube. I wanted to hit enter, please. New editing services, editing support services, as well as, did I not put the dang thing in there? There it is. It just took a very long time to show up. I think YouTube stream delay is a little more than Twitch, perhaps. Just again, I'm editing smaller text when I'm editing. It's hard. It's gonna get smaller, but I think like this is good. This looks great to me. Like I think unless you're making it large for like a bit, like this is like kind of big, but again, like it's sort of how to say. Like if you're on, I know Nene's like specifically on YouTube, so like this sort of stuff becomes more acceptable. But for the sake of being compatible with all the different places, I'm just gonna kind of say that this is too high. Like this is a little too high. Additionally, this is for all shorts. There's something to be said about the viewer's eye line. Is it easy to read this text right now? So we're gonna watch it again, and you tell me.
It happened again.
So we have the bottom,
dreams and
middle,
I wanna know what happens
bottom,
next. So I'm like, I have to go back.
Way up at the top, way up at the bottom.
This time the dream was like, I've never seen the
Way at the top.
Godfather. Where they're like, I'm gonna make you a deal.
Way at the bottom.
For some reason that was happening, and I was like on the side watching that. I needed to know what the deal was, but like I woke up, so I'm sad. I couldn't even figure out the offer that they couldn't refuse.
There is something to be said. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but I feel like you don't want to be moving the position of your text unless you kind of like have to. And if you do, you don't, as long as you can avoid it, like you don't want to, like the viewer, you don't want the viewer to have to be like looking all over for the text. If it's moving, especially at a fast-paced thing like this.
It happened again.
And then we kind of have like let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This where is on screen for 4 frames. This is for sure not enough time to read this. I'll also note that Nene herself speaks fluent English, but she is, as far as I'm aware, she is Japanese, and English is her second language. So her English isn't, like, perfect. And I feel that the editor, I don't know if I pronounce this right, it's Friesenor, something like that. Friendzoner? Oh my god. I don't know if this is a conscious choice or not, so they'll have to excuse me if it is. But, you know, what she's saying here actually is it happened, but the caption says it happened, so I don't know if these were done with the the auto caption maker, but like if you are using the auto captions that Premiere has, you always got to go back and make sure that it got everything correctly, because I am seeing kind of a lot of like I'm seeing kind of like a lot of I don't want to call them spelling mistakes. They're not really it's not really an issue of spelling.
I have to go back. You're waiting for me.
Like this says they waiting for me, but I mean she's saying they are there or waiting for me. So like having the on-screen text kind of look like kind of like not be correct is a little rough for me. So these are like things I think that you know one should pay close attention to. I really like all this graphics work. Like all this stuff that's happening is like amazing. But I think it's sort of like having the text be like kind of like really jarringly moving all over the place is a little rough. And then, you know, I couldn't even figure out stuff like that.
For that, they couldn't refuse.
But overall, like, I don't think this needs, like, a lot. Like, I think the graphics are good, the sounds are good. It's just a lot of, like, this kind of, like, some of these, like, kind of foundational things are, like, a bit off for me.
And again, where I have the weird...
I also say, and this is sort of, if you are, how do I say? How do I put this lightly? I feel like a lot of times, how do I say this? You know, artists that are sort of, or models that are sort of well endowed, as it were, a lot of times, like, you want to make sure that, you know, they've paid a lot of good money for those. So you want to try at, you know, when you can to like not obscure them, you know what I mean? That's nothing that anybody's asked for, but it's like, you know, if you have a model that is got similar features, you know, they're there for a reason. So that's just sort of a small thing. But overall, yeah, I like a lot about this. It's real fast, real sort of chaotic. I think these small things would help comprehension, because even as is, like, I understood this, but like the things that were happening were like just because of like kind of how the text was appearing, it was like a little hard to follow.
Happens next, so I'm like, I have to go back. You're waiting for me. This time the dream was like, I've never seen The Godfather, where they're like, I'm gonna make you a deal kind of thing. For some reason,
there's also like I'm also like kind of an advocate for not putting like a ton of text that isn't spoken on screen, because I feel like that becomes confusing unless it's like critical for context or something. So, you know, because like this is sort of like, you know, we got Yandere and Nene, but like she's not saying this. But now my eye's jumping down here, and there's another thing, and like there might be too many fonts in this also. It's like, it's sort of hard to... I mean, I guess I like that, like, the spoken word is this font, but like... But it's not all the time, you know? I don't know. These are sort of... It's sort of nitpicky, but like... These are things that I think would be... good. You know. Okay, so we're gonna move on from that. We got Monster VT. This is not there for submission. Now I have an amount to say about this, if memory serves.
do you guys ever go on a...
Oh, let me hold on. I'm gonna this is too soft, but I also know that it gets a little louder, so we're gonna just hard limit this right away. For our listening pleasure. Okay.
Do you guys ever go on a psychopathic rampage when you're playing it?
Oh, you know what? I didn't realize I had this on. Excuse me. Okay. had my guidelines on. If you guys didn't know what that blue line was, I'm
Do
sorry.
you guys ever go on a
It didn't
psychopathic
even see it.
rampage when you're playing a game?
Oh god.
We're running it down! Run it down! Run it down! Run it down! We're shooting each
Oh, you got a chainsaw? Nice. I got it.
All right. So, this one, just sort of off the bat, I feel like it kind of doesn't really have a punchline, to speak of. So we've kind of got that working against us. There's no, like, so I think in an instance like this, we can kind of do our best to create a punchline. I think this is like funny, right? But this whole clip is like, what do we got? Exactly 5 minutes. This is like almost 44 seconds of short. And we want to accentuate, we want to highlight this chaotic energy, and we want it to end on sort of a funny beat. Use my words, what do you mean? I feel like G-Mama might be a little farther, the lag might be worse than... I feel like I saw G-Mama respond to something that happened like a while ago, so I'm not sure kind of what the lag time is. So what I think we're gonna do, so just sort of right off the bat, oh shoot, right off the bat, it takes a while. So like, let's see, as is.
Do you guys ever go on a psychopathic rampage when you're playing a game?
So it takes us over 7 seconds to get to any gameplay. And then on top of that, it takes us over half a second to get to any spoken word. Is that? Yeah.
Do you guys ever go on a psychopathic rampage when you're playing a game? On a psychopathic rampage when you're playing a game?
So I think what I want to do here. So if we just have what we have here, right? What I want to do is kind of intercut things. So I think we're gonna find some like exceptional,
Oh god.
like some funny moments of her saying "run it down."
We're running it down! Run it down!
So I'm gonna kind of pull up the ones that I think are.
Run it down! Run it down!
Okay, so
You guys ever
I think, okay, so we're gonna kind of like intercut a bunch of stuff. So let's try and start off on something explosive, right? So we have like just real fast.
Do you guys ever
You guys ever
Oh god.
run it down?
go on a psychopathic rampage when
Go on a psychopathic rampage.
we're running it down?
Put that
Go on a
there.
psychopathic rampage. Run it down!
And then we hear the other guy say, "Oh shit!" I think that would be funny to have on screen. It's like their PNG or whatever.
When you're playing a game.
And then I'm gonna just sort of fix the oops, the subtitling here.
When you're playing a game?
Um, I think I want this to all kind of get up to the chainsaw. Oh, is that Coach and not the other guy? Oh no, you're right. You're right. Excuse me. Though I will say that might be funny too if you put like a little PNG of Coach up there. I haven't played in a long time, but an absurd amount of Left 4 Dead 2. It's been a spicy little minute.
When you're playing a game?
So this is like a little fragmented, but like I feel like if you were building this from scratch.
When you're playing a game?
I think let's let me pull all this out. I don't know what I might still want, which is why I'm not just deleting these yet.
Game?
And then we have the chainsaw for like a long time, but I think that
Oh, he got a chainsaw? Nice.
and then I think
Oh, he got a chainsaw? Nice. My daughter.
and then maybe like that's my daughter.
My daughter.
So I think like we kind of have. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, G Mama. Plenty of funny. Yeah. all the Left 4 Dead, they've just been forged. What does it seem? Forge maker? To death. So now we have something, and I've kind of also eliminated this because that would go next, but then this clip kind of already has Evil laughing, so at this point it would feel, based on what I'm doing with it now, it would be sort of a little redundant. So this might be a little rough, but this is what we have right now.
Do you guys ever go on a psychopathic rampage when you're playing a game?
Oh, he got a chainsaw?
And even that, like, it might be... I put this kind of giggling in, but... I don't know. I feel like maybe that's too long. Force filmmaker. I like know what it is, but I like forget what it stands for. Jellyfish, hello, welcome.
Oh, he got a chainsaw? Nice. My daughter.
So then, yeah, let's start again from the beginning. So then this is now... hold on. Let's put everything back on the starting. So this is now about 18 seconds. So we've cut over half of this out.
Do you guys ever go on a psychopathic rampage when you're playing a game?
Oh, he got a chainsaw? Nice. My daughter.
Yeah, and it might be the kind of thing, Slew. Do I call you Slew? I don't know if I'm saying the name right. It might be the kind of thing where instead of that first clip, we could have like this instead. So now it's like
guys ever go on a psychopathic rampage? Run it down! When you're playing a game?
And then, honestly, let's bring this in. I don't know if I want this to the visual, but I want the audio to start a lot sooner.
Playing a game?
I also, just for what, this is a small thing, but just for what it's worth, like, we just saw that they found the chainsaw, so it doesn't need to sort of be on screen. You know what I mean? Whenever you can show, not tell, like, always take the opportunity. And we just saw it. So, in that instance, it's sort of unnecessary, right?
He got a chainsaw? No. My daughter.
So I think that's like, we get the exact same energy as the original, you know, short, but we've kind of made it a little more digestible, right? It's like, oh, okay, the story of this is like, hey, monster like killing zombies go boom, monster go laugh. And then, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, we have that. We see them going kind of crazy. And then we get out on, like, a line of a joke, you know? So it's, like, kind of... this was already near the end, but now it's, like, where we end on it specifically. So that's kind of what we have with this guy. Those are my thoughts. And now we have... And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but it looks like... your name is... Okihinoki. Okihinoki. On the race car noise. I like that the text for the race car is getting like real extra silly, like right at the end. You know, I do like that. Okay, so we have this now. Let me I'm gonna just
Japanese rice cracker ASMR, everyone. Okay, let me get my ASMR microphone. Holy god, that's $10,000. What? Okay. ASMR time. Oh god, I'm cringing at myself. It's a little stuck. Hold on. This doesn't usually happen. Alright. The crunch test. Pick one out. Crunchy. Yeah. I mean, crunchy. Twink struggles to open plastic bag for 10 minutes. So real. And I hate you for it. Incredibly actually factual. I'm shaking and crying and kicking my legs a little.
Okay, so we've kind of been over this. I think I know who the editor is. Yeah, did you do this? You did this one yourself, Oki? So this one is kind of the same situation where I feel like we get a little lost in like what the story is. Because right off the bat,
Japanese rice cracker ASMR, everyone. Okay, let me get my ASMR microphone. Holy god, that's $10,000.
So like we have this bit where you talk about how expensive like this ASMR mic is, but then, and so I think like this is at the start of it, I should say, I think that this is what the short's gonna be about, but then we don't ever bring this up again, except that
what
this is now like the PNG of it.
ASMR time.
So I think that we could probably just get rid of it. So if let's cut here.
Rice cracker ASMR, everyone. Japanese rice cracker ASMR, everyone.
We're gonna just cut out the very, very slight dead air there. This is only like 5 frames, but every frame.
Rice cracker ASMR, everyone. Okay, let me get.
And then this is also, I see that the word, like the, you always, for me, I always want to be careful that like the words aren't like disappearing like a frame before like we switch, anything like that. Because, like, it's so subtle, it's so slight, it happens so fast, but people, like, do notice that kind of thing. Bravo, hello! Presenting a person with a similar model. Oh, okay, okay. But that is just a small thing. Though, I will say, we kind of, like, we hem and haw on this next bit a little bit, so...
Okay, let me get my...
So I think we can just cut all this out, and then we go...
Let me get my ASMR microphone.
And then you're kind of laughing because, like, you don't have an ASMR microphone, or at least I don't think you do. You're just using your regular mic and getting a PNG, or, you know, not even a PNG, but a picture of that. So I think, but you're laughing, so I think the joke can be like, oh, it's not even a, you know, a PNG, right?
Let me get my ASMR microphone. Okay.
And then and then we can kind of, you know, you can like, oh, this is a joke. You can signify that with a sound effect.
ASMR microphone. Okay. ASMR time. Oh god, I'm cringing at myself. It's a little stuck. Hold on. This doesn't usually happen.
So we are...
Oh god, I'm cringing at myself. Cringing at myself.
We are struggling with this bag for, like, kind of a while. And I think that you just telling us that it is stuck... I know I just said show, don't tell, but the fact that, you know, it's like, it's taking a while to open this, and we as viewers are kind of like, well, what's going on? So we could probably get away with, like, just a little... Let's see how this looks.
Oh god, I'm cringing at myself. It's a little stuck. It's a little stuck. Hold on. This doesn't usually happen. Alright. The crunch test. Pick one out.
I do like this graphic, is very fun. I feel like, so...
Crunchy.
Your reaction is sort of like, it's whatever. So, like, I think to juxtapose the idea that, like, maybe this is the most delicious thing you've ever eaten, right? Just putting forth the notion that maybe that's what's happening. So, I'm gonna kind of do this kind of a thing where we're gonna lower the opacity of this, and then maybe we can have like an angelic quiet. Well, this is, hold on. Let me make this just a little shorter so we can deal with this. Lower the volume here. And then maybe, like, I don't really have, like, a bass boom. I have the Vine boom, but not like a boo kind of noise. But, like, if I was gonna get real in depth on this, I'd maybe try and find, like, that kind of a thing, like a bass drop. And then there's no... Once the cut happens, we don't want any moments before you say a word or a sound.
Crunchy, yeah.
But then maybe it's like... So my system for naming sound effects is like, I started with these bamboo sounds, right? And then I kind of just, like, got all these other sound effects, but I felt like they might serve similar purposes, so I just named them all bamboo. So, like, something like this might also be good to kind of put here.
Crunchy, yeah. I mean, crunchy. Twink struggles to open plastic bag for 10 minutes. So real, and I hate you for it. Incredibly, actually real, and I hate you for it.
And then this is another situation where I feel like, for me, like, this bit is a little bit funnier than this bit. So, to that, because of that, I feel like we just don't even need this end bit. It's like, it's funny, but if this is funnier, and you know, this might just be to my taste, but like, I feel like this is funnier enough that's like, okay, what if we just end it here?
Crunchy. Well, I mean, Crunchy. Twink struggles to open plastic bag for 10 minutes. So real, and I hate you for it.
I would also, kind of similar to Yuchi, I'm assuming that some of these are chat talking to you. I think having, right now, there's just no indication that is what it is, except that, you know, we've kind of figured it out. Use a sound library feature in, oh yeah, I forgot that somebody told me that DaVinci has, sound effects, which is excellent. It's really cool. Adobe or Premiere doesn't come with any sound effects like that. I had a very confusing conversation with somebody after I made the Resolve video, because I sort of just, the whole point of that video is like, hey, I've never used this. Let's see how easy it is for me to learn it, and then I can kind of show you everything that I would want to know, kind of a thing. And I had no idea that it had its own sound library, so we had this, like, really confusing conversation where they were using it, and they knew that they had sound effects, and I didn't know that there were built-in sound effects, so we were just, like, having this, like, super disjointed conversation, where we weren't, like, understanding each other. So that was only sort of some small things, but let's take a look now.
Japanese rice cracker ASMR, everyone. Let me get my ASMR microphone. Good. ASMR time. Oh god, I'm cringing at myself. It's a little stuck. Hold on. Just this doesn't usually happen. Alright. The crunch test. Pick one out. Crunchy. Well, I mean, Crunchy. Twink struggles to open plastic bag for 10 minutes. So real, and I hate you for it.
So, like, I feel like that's the energy of everything that the original had, right? But it's a little shorter. The story of it is a little more focused. I won't ever, till the day I die, shut up about, you know, finding the story, focusing on whatever the story is, and kind of removing everything else as far as shorts are concerned. Because that's a very critical part of just all editing. It's like, hey, what can stay, what can go, and just finding your lines on how you feel about those things. It's critical, super important. Yeah, but overall I like this. I like the effects. I guess, like, just sort of like critical notes, and this isn't like even that it's incorrect or bad.
It's a little stuck.
I'm seeing that you have a lot of effects on the words on their exit.
The crunch test.
And I almost feel like maybe you don't necessarily need to spend that much time on that. So I would focus more on the intro of words, because people just understand, like, hey, the word's gonna go away when another word comes up. But it's not wrong. It doesn't look bad or anything, but I feel like words appearing maybe is like a better time to kind of like spend your time. You know what I mean? A better way to spend your time, I should say. But overall, yeah, I like a lot about this. I think this is definitely like this is like the kind of direction I would like to see if I was editing your stuff. You know what I mean? Just as far as like what the content is and like what you've created here. All right, we have, this is from Snapple That on TikTok.
Why do I have to kick the door down every time I come out of the locker? Just announces my presence. It's like, hello, Xenomorph!
Yeah, absolutely, Oki.
Come and eat my ankles! I was kidding! I think he knows I'm here! Oh no. Ugh.
All right, so this one kind of has a lot of the issues that we've kind of been talking about to death on this stream, but I guess it's good to kind of like hammer these points in. So right away, it's sort of like we only kind of you know, it's as far as we'll start with the context, right?
Why do I have to kick the door down every time I come out of the locker? Just announces my presence. It's like, hello, Xenomorph!
So it's only at this point where they mention Xenomorph. It's like, oh, okay, we're probably in a scary game. Well, that's you. Hell yeah. Okay. We're probably in a scary game with the aliens. I feel like Xenomorph is probably a household name enough. Like that's pretty clear. That doesn't need explanation. But like,
my ankles.
we have, so I think like at the top, before I really start touching stuff, the intro, it takes a while to kind of get to the meat of anything. So we have a lot of dead air here. I know what I just said, but this is also a situation where I feel like I see what you've kind of done here with, I think this is good in a general sense. Like, oh, you have your model up here cropped from another like video layer, and then this is full screen. However, it's as a result, it's like kind of hard to tell what we're looking at.
Why do I have to kick?
This is actually sort of a general note, but I'm gonna put a Lumetri color filter on. This is the filter that if you go to the color tab, it'll just put on. But it is just a filter, so I don't want to go over to that place. I want to stay with this setup. So for a lot of games like this, especially like horror games, they're just so dark, and that makes sense if you're playing the game. But like when you're like, it's just sometimes it's too dark for like TikTok. So I feel like, so in this instance, right, like you'd want to make sure, like I could, honestly, let's make a mask. So we're gonna make it so that this doesn't affect your model, but it will brighten up everything else. And I know that it is backwards right now, but at least the color filter has, most masks will let you invert things. So now the game is a lot brighter and we can kind of see what's going on. Which for a TikTok or a short or whatever is like pretty important. Like when you're playing the game, it's dark and it's atmospheric and that's what you want, but ultimately you want your viewer to be able to see what's going on. So I think that I see a lot of like horror game TikToks that it's just too dark and I can't see what's happening. So this is just sort of a general note about that. It was like fine enough before. It wasn't like too hard to see, but if you could make it easier to see, I think that's good.
Why do I have to kick the door down every time?
Do I have yeah, I have the Minecraft explosion. So when the door kicks open, I'm gonna just put that there. Once this shows up, and this is also a thing, like you kind of put this at half transparency, which is like fine, but I feel like this could just be its own little insert. Like you don't need to like be on screen like the whole time, right? And I think it's sort of to your detriment if you are, because now you have this opportunity to like change it up, and you've kind of like got, you know, put one foot in, I guess to say. But this could just be the whole Big Bird, you know, gif, right?
Why do I have to kick the door down every time I come out of the...
We can, we'll kind of have this fade out.
I have to kick the door down every time I come out of the locker. Just a...
So we're gonna cut out this dead air, and then this is the kind of thing where it's like...
Just announces my presence.
Where if you know, if we had the raw, I would suggest... I'm constantly getting confused on where things are, because I've moved everything. Where like in this situation, like if you had your kind of full body, you could kind of zoom in like this, do this sort of a thing. Just when it's
The
like,
locker just announces my
just
presence.
announces my presence.
Hello, Xenomorph.
Oh, and then yeah, okay, no, you've done it. You've done it right here. So
Announces my presence. Hello, Xenomorph.
like I would honestly like I might like kind of swap these, and now the color is not looking good.
Hello, Xenomorph.
This is also kind of like half on a word, which is like sometimes a little rough.
Hello, Xenomorph. Come and eat my ankles.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like take a pretty large amount of this. We're gonna kind of like,
Hello, Xenomorph.
I don't want to have a little bit of the other framing once you start talking, so we're gonna kind of rate stretch for cheating it a little bit here.
My presence. Hello, Xenomorph.
And then really we're gonna go pretty.
This is my presence. Hello, Xenomorph.
I think that these inserts can be, so I have Scary Stinger. If you've ever watched an episode of my friends and I were rewatching Kitchen Nightmares, where Gordon Ramsay goes and he goes to restaurants that are struggling and he like tries to fix them. But they use this sound effect like constantly. I'm talking like 20, 30 times an episode. It's crazy. But it works. It's funny. So I use it too. And and it's even funnier if you kind of cut it off. But we'll see. So like once this starts appearing, right, we'll kind of like, we can kind of lower it.
Come and eat my ankles.
So right here we'll go from there.
Ankles. I was kidding. I think he knows I'm here.
And then kind of similar to the last one, I think this is funny. Like that noise, this face. But then we kind of have this like extra stuff.
Oh no.
I'm not sure what the effect is here. Maybe that you're poisoned? I'm not sure. But I think that this is like, if we just cut all that out. Maybe I see your stuff like this like bothers me. This is just like where I cut it, but I think like we have one frame where your eyes go to the other side, so I don't like that. So and then I'm gonna make this a little louder using the pen tool. We're gonna kind of ramp this up so it's less jarring with the background noise. So let's see what we have now.
Why do I have to kick the door down every time I come out of the locker? Just announces my presence. Hello, Xenomorph. Come and eat my ankles. I was kidding. I think he knows I'm here.
I think also we could I know I stopped right before the end. We have a lot of these are the same kind of goofs and gaffs I'm always doing. I'm only now just noticing the you put this guy's face on there. That's pretty funny. Okay, so I think right here we're gonna put a Metal Gear.
I was kidding. I think he knows I'm here.
And then like right here, it's kind of hard to tell exactly kind of where you got stabbed, but like I feel like just adding these like oofs is always pretty funny.
I was kidding. I think he knows I'm here.
Yeah.
He knows I'm here.
Okay, okay, let's start this one more time.
Why do I have to kick the door down every time I come out of the locker? Just announces my presence. Hello, Xenomorph! Come and eat my ankles! I was kidding! I think he knows I'm here!
So I think that gets across, again, it's like, I don't feel, anytime I'm like trimming these things down, I don't, you know, y'all can tell me if you disagree, I suppose, but like, I don't feel like I'm cutting any context. I don't feel like I'm cutting anything that needs to be there. You know what I mean? So it's like, we are taking everything, we're taking the story, we're taking the core of everything that you've had, and we are just like making it more digestible and kind of like, you know, emphasizing the, like, with, like, you know, like, how do I say? Sound effects and things are oftentimes, like, they make something funnier, but realistically, under the hood, they are, drawing attention, they are emphasizing a point that you're making, right? So it's like, this was funny already that this comes up, like, we, you know, we get the joke, but now it's like we have this sound effect to highlight it. You get caught by Xenomommy or whoever, and now we have this sound to highlight that. You get stabbed. We have a sound to highlight that, but it's a funny sound. It's like, oh, it's an oof. Like, if we didn't want to be as funny, we could, I have this Earthbound slash that I use a lot. So like this kind of a thing. Lower that a little bit.
I was kidding, I think he knows I'm here!
So, like, that would also draw attention to it, but it's a little less sort of comical. So that this sort of decision is up to taste, right? Like, I like using the funnier sounds. Because, silly. Can you imagine getting Xenomorph stabbed in Minecraft, right? So that's kind of like...
Why do I have to kick the door down every time I come out of the locker? Just announces my presence. Hello, Xenomorph!
Hello.
Come and eat my ankles! I was kidding! I think he knows I'm here!
And then we get out. Like, we kind of have this hanging moment, and then this little noise acts as our kind of like, it's not really a punchline, but it acts as our like funny get out moment. Nothing funnier than this happens kind of after, so we get out, and then you're left. Like, there's something in film, or in like I don't know what specific branch of editing, but like typically like with things, with all sort of media, you want to, and especially with like trailers and like short stuff like this, you want to leave your viewer wanting more. So it's kind of like weird. It's kind of weird to kind of put it in these words, but it's like, hey, they're going to be satisfied by what you put out. But like, if you kind of end it like suddenly, it's not like they're left feeling unsatisfied, but it's like they want more. You know, they want more of it. So like, if they're like, oh, that was funny, like, what more, you know, maybe this, like, the fact that, like, it ended so soon might be the make or break of them, like, checking on your profile, right? And, like, seeing what else you got going on. But if, like, you know, it's like, oh, this is the funniest bit, and then a few more things happen. Oh, shoot. A few more things happen, then it's sort of like, okay, well, they got it, and now the last feeling they're left with isn't as sort of positive as maybe it could be, right? So there is that. We have a few left. We'll probably just get through all of these. These last couple ones are a little kind of extra. I don't know how much we'll workshop them necessarily, because I just have like notes about them. So this is from Sweaty Little Koi on TikTok. I like that name. Okay. Pull that back a little bit. Here we go.
Are you... I'm uninstalling this f***ing game. I hate my f***ing live goddamn f***ing... I'd rather eat armpit hairs.
So that's real short and sweet. So in a general sense, I feel like I don't know what game this is, but I feel like I have enough context because it feels like some kind of a, I understand that this isn't Rocket League, but like, it's like Rocket League is a very easy, part of the reason that Rocket League is so popular with like esports and things is that like any Norman on the street can like, you could put Rocket League on a television and they would understand basically the rules, right? Like this is sort of a larger conversation about esports and like needing to know, you know, like it's like people that don't play games like League of Legends or Magic the Gathering aren't typically going to watch League of Legends tournaments or Magic the Gathering tournaments because that is not for them. But people, you know, it's like you take regular sports like football. Like I don't play football. I don't actually care for football, but like I could sit down and watch a game of football and mostly understand what's going on, right? It's like, oh, they're trying to get the ball the other side at a core level. There are more rules to football than that, right? But like you get it. What is the, you know, with Magic, it's like you need to know all the cards. I'm getting on a tangent, but like for this, it's like, it's some kind of a soccer thing. Like, I don't know what game this is. I don't necessarily need to know what game this is. I see that they've gotten a goal with this little disc, right? So I think as far as context goes, like we very quickly, like, we don't have time to think about what's going on before we are immediately introduced to... And then we understand it's like, oh, because they're upset or subject, that was bad. That wasn't their goal. Daria, hello! How are you?
I'm uninstalling this f***ing game. I hate my f***ing live goddamn f***ing...
I like the sand censoring. I think that's very funny.
Goddamn f***ing... I'd rather eat armpit hairs.
So, right away...
Armpit hairs.
This isn't, like, that much, but, like, any sort of bit. Like, this is... 7 frames, I think. So we can just get out a little bit. Oh, it's a self goal? Oh, shoot. Oh, because that's you. Oh.
Are you... I'm uninstalling.
Okay. I gotcha.
Are you... I'm uninstalling this f***ing game. I hate my...
And in any case, right, it's like... Even without that knowledge, like, I feel like the sort of comedy of it is the same. It's like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Uh-oh. But I guess immediately I was sort of under the... So this isn't really gonna, like, work, what I'm about to do, but I also might kind of, like, depending on how important this is, what am I trying to do? I want to clip, video options, add frame hold. So now we have, this is all going to be this frame, and I want to kind of like, I want this overtime word. Oopsie doops. Let's, what are we doing? There we go. I have to drag and then press shift. So we're gonna, so like this might not be necessary, right? But we could kind of like have this sort of a thing, like, oh, we're in overtime, it's getting real, we're getting to the real sweaty gamer hours kind of thing. And then once this really kind of starts moving in earnest, we can fade it out. And this is a real sloppy mask, right? But you understand kind of the, if we kind of did that sort of a thing, we can adjust these to make it look a little better. And then this might be covering up that it's you also. Yeah, so.
Are you... I'm uninstalling this f***ing game. I hate my f***ing live goddamn f***ing... I'd rather eat armpit hairs.
And then this is sort of a unique situation where I'm not really sure. These things, this bit and then this second bit are kind of like equally funny to me. And so I almost wonder if it's like, if it's funny. It almost feels like a little extra added on, and not that it isn't funny, right? But like, additionally,
I'm uninstalling this game.
I think it's kind of similarly to what we've been doing before.
I hate my in live.
I think every new like section of this.
Goddamn.
So we'll say we have 4 of these. So I don't want to push in like too much, but I think just like a little bit is gonna kind of go a long way here. And I know, again, this isn't gonna quite, the subtitles aren't gonna quite match up, but that's okay. So what if we have something like this without this end bit? And I'm not setting that to exile just yet or anything, but let's see.
Are you? I'm uninstalling this game. I hate my in live. Goddamn.
See, I think I feel like this escalation of things.
In live. Goddamn.
I think ending on like this censored line just is funnier.
I'd rather eat armpit hairs.
Like, this is like gross.
I'd rather eat armpit hairs.
But it definitely feels like something that happened later, rather than like being in the moment of like of rage.
I'm uninstalling this game. I hate my in live. Goddamn.
So it does make it a bit shorter. What do we got? We got bring this over. Nope, let's bring it all over. That makes it like 10 seconds about. Not a vast difference.
I'm uninstalling this game. I hate my in live. Goddamn.
So I like that a lot. I think this is very funny. Like, it was already very good beforehand. Like, I really do like the font. I like the stroke on the font. I like this centering is like almost perfect. Like, you know, it's a VOD, so I understand like there's challenges with setting yourself up. This might be a slight, maybe like, that's about, it's like it's a scotch higher.
I'm uninstalling this.
Because you want your, if at all possible, you want your eyes to kind of be, I made a whole video about the rule of thirds, and you kind of want, you know, you divide this up into a checkerboard just in equal parts. So like boom, boom, and then like, you know, approximately like boom and boom, right? So you want your eyes, if at all possible, to be about here. And for there to not really be so much dead space up there. So, but that's not that critical.
Are you?
And that's also, oh, I see there was an effect here. That's good. Okay. So that means that for this part, I can just set it to frame size. Because set this back to normal.
Are you? I'm uninstalling this game. I hate my in live. Goddamn.
I think that's good. Yeah, rule of thirds, I think it probably started as a photo thing, but it's all visual composition can benefit from the rule of thirds. So that is what I would do. I would cut this last bit out. This is a little, it's sort of like gross shock value kind of thing, but I feel that almost takes away from this bit, which I think does a little bit, it's a little bit funnier on its own. That's that. All right, two more. So these ones, so this is Captain Jellyfish, who was here. I don't know if they're still here. We're gonna watch this and I'll keep my thoughts for the end.
Don't say your mom, or I will cry.
Your mom.
Let me know where to ship her.
Which mom? Which of my 4 moms are you referring to?
The best one.
Oh, you see, I can't say that.
Oh, yes, you can. You can.
All right. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad you were here for it. Yeah, thank you for submitting. These are so much fun. I literally couldn't do these kinds of streams without all y'all, so I appreciate you. Thank you. This has been so great, so fun. All right, so kind of first and foremost, I'm sure at this point you don't need me to tell you all. So there's no subtitles here, and on top of that, I watched this a few times before just now, and I can't really understand them. There's like 4 or 5 people here, and there's a lot of crosstalk, and I think just adding the subtitles would like really fix that. Like it would just sort of fix all of these issues, right? Because it feels like, so from what I am able to infer, right, it's like they're making some sort of a your mom joke, and then like this one's like I have 4 moms, and I don't know if that's like it's one of these things where like I don't know, since I'm not part of this person's community, if this is something that's like a known thing, if they're just sort of saying this. It seems like they kind of all know what's going on. I don't know if one of them has I don't know if this means they have a mom that has passed, like, and that's like the joke or like what. So subtitles would help this significantly, but then also because I can't, it's a little rough to work with this since I can't really like understand it. I think that all shorts, no matter what, should have full captions for the whole thing. And I feel like I'm almost always gonna scroll away if I can't like read along, especially because a lot of times I am like sometimes my fiance wakes up and I wake up and my fiance's still asleep, and so I'm like scrolling TikTok on silent because I don't want to like get out of bed. And like if I just, there's some TikToks I just can't watch because they don't have subtitles. So I think it's like it's critical. But I think honestly that would take this from something that I am confused about to something that's probably going to be pretty funny, and it's sort of a shame, right? Because it's like it seems like that, you know, they're doing graphics, like they're moving stuff around. I'm seeing goofs and gaffs, but just like due to sort of the audio quality, like, and the crosstalk, I can't really like super make out what's happening. But so that's kind of my thoughts on this. I like a lot of the movement. You're doing a lot with sort of the limited nature of how PNGs sort of move and don't move, you know, respectively. In doing a lot of zooms, being movement, seeing movement, things like that. And the PNGs from whatever that, I don't know what this website's called that these graphics come from. But I like all that stuff for sure. But I at a core level, I just sort of can't really like understand like what's happening really. But I think subtitles would just fix that right up, baby. All right, this last one is kind of in a similar vein where I'm kind of like confused on what is happening. This is from Hokage Hahai. I don't know if they're here. If you're here, announce yourself, please. But we're just gonna, I'm gonna raise the volume pretty significantly. We're gonna maybe 15. Yeah. You just looked up VTuber PNG. Oh, okay. There's like a website that is in Japanese. That they have all these like free assets you can use, and that is what it's like got this style where it almost looks like cardboard cutouts or like construction paper cutouts. All this stuff looks like this, but you can search in English, and so a lot of I see a lot of these kinds of graphics in a lot of videos because they're all just like free to use. Yeah, absolutely. I have if you I'll do one last plug because we're near the end. But if you haven't already, I don't know what you edit on, but if you haven't already, I have on my editing YouTube channel that you're, you know, watching right now. There is a whole video on how I do subtitles and how to make that process as easy and painless as possible. So if you haven't seen that and you do use Premiere, I would check that out. Because it really just boils down everything you need to know and nothing that you don't need to know. Okay, so here we go.
Why did the tamale go to the hospital? Yes, Hachi?
Because he was sick.
My battery fell on my console.
Tell me, Hachi. Yes.
Tamalito.
Yeah! Hey.
So, I think this is... I think this is a... Why are they... I don't know if this is like a Spanish joke. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Oki. I appreciate that. So at a base level, like I don't know, I don't understand the punchline to this joke, but everybody seems excited about it, so it might just be a language thing for me. It looks like there's sort of some context like it's Animal Crossing, obviously. I don't recognize this building. It's been a minute since I played Animal Crossing, however. So, they have some sort of, like, differently colored, like buzz-in, like, game show buzz-in things, that they're using for whatever's happening, right? So, we can, like, kind of infer these things.
Why did the tamale...
This is one of these ones that might sort of benefit from just some text right here that says, like, we're doing, like, oh, it's this game show, like, if this game show has a name or whatever it is that they're doing, or, like, quiz time, or just something like that, you know what I mean? Or even just, like, game show quiz, just something to kind of, to lessen the viewer's kind of, like, mental strain on, like, what's happening, like, oh, it's a game show.
Why did the tamale go to the hospital? Yes, Hachi?
Because he was sick.
My battery fell on my console.
Tell me, Hachi. Yes.
So this is also, so like something happens that wasn't supposed to happen, that isn't part of this. And instead of cutting it out, Hunt, hello, welcome. We are on the last one. So I'm sorry. Welcome. Does the VOD stay up? Yes, it does. It does. Which is part of the reason I wanted to do these here, because I did the first recording of this. You know what? Now that you mention it, I feel like I watched your short, but when I went just now to collect them all, I don't remember getting yours, come to think of it. That's no good. Let me see. Because that is incorrect. Hold on one sec. That happened. I remember you sent one, but I don't think we looked at it. Let's see. Am I being... Oh, you know why? Oh, right. You left it in a comment of your own comment. Oh, let me grab this. And then we can use this. We can do one more. Because I got time. I allot myself 3 hours, and we've only been at this 2.5. But let me finish this up, and then I'll download that real quick.
Why
so
did the tamale go to the hospital?
I think there's just some sort of slight issues with the captions here. Like, I would kind of like, instead of seeing this all on screen at once, like, you know, like seeing it a bit at a time, like in the same spot. This isn't like awful or anything, but just to kind of small things, like there are a little bit of timing issues. Now, again, probably what's happening here is that I think these were done in TikTok, so it's really hard to sort of be exact. So
did the tamale go to the hospital?
We are being forgiving in that instance.
Hospital.
But like, we could kind of like, so we're gonna zoom in, and this is gonna be real kind of crazy, but like, we're gonna add some visual dynamics, right?
Go to the hospital.
Boink, and then you could maybe make like a, do I have a ding? What do I got? Yeah, something like this, maybe. So, like, right when it is hit, we can kind of have, like, a ding.
To the hospital.
Even though it makes its own sound. But, however...
Yes, Hachi?
Because he was sick.
So, like,
Battery's low on my console.
this person interrupts, and instead of just, like, cutting it, it's like this big interruption, right?
Console.
Tell me, Hachi.
So we can just, like, we don't need any of that because this person repeats themselves. So we can just kind of do like this.
Tell me, Hachi. Yes.
Tamalito. Tamalito.
So I think just this sort of thing.
Why did the tamale go to the hospital? Tell me, Hachi. Yes.
Tamalito.
I don't know. I think it's this one that's like getting excited. So I think And then I also just, as I've said before, I like ending before a sound effect ends. So we're going to kind of, and again, this is going to be pretty blurry, but like, we're going to go up here. I think it's this person saying that, so I'm not positive, but we're also going to kind of like cheat this out a little bit because previously, like, it didn't look like the it didn't show up fast enough, so now it's gonna look a little more obvious that and then we're gonna kind of just like bring all this in. But I also want to, we're gonna shake it up. So nest it, we shake it, we grab this shake, and then
Tamalito.
the shake always makes things funny. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so now we have this.
Why did the tamale go to the hospital? Tell me, Hachi. Yes.
Tamalito.
So again, I don't 100%. I feel like there's a language barrier for me understanding this joke, but perhaps. But we've cut out sort of stuff that was unnecessary. And then we add the shake, which just, it makes everything fun. I don't know, it's so funny to shake things up. Okay, so last but not least, I'm gonna grab this one from Hunt real quickly. It's on YouTube, so that'll be the grib. Give me one sec, everybody. Where's the one I like? Is it this one? I don't usually download them. I usually download them on my personal, like, Chrome profile. I don't have my bookmarks here. Will this work? Is it gonna give me trouble? Preparing the file for download, baby. Download now. Okay. So this is. So I have these. I always try and name these by. Who did that? Okay. So So this is. Oh shoot. So this is beautiful. Let me. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, babies. So this is Hunt editing for a different VTuber. I don't actually remember this name. They are Cherry Lupina. Lupina fanbase loved it, but I feel like I can improve on the editing style. All right, let's take a look. I watched this when you sent it, but I don't remember. So I tried to like pre-watch these as I loaded them in.
I'm
the greatest VTuber to live in these lands. I am the coolest, most prettiest, coolest, tallest, grandest, funniest VTuber in the world. I'm so cool. I'm so amazing. He felt pity. How about you feel my foot up your ass? Shut up. Could you reach through it? Could you reach through? And it means you're funny.
All right. Oh shoot. All right. Hell yeah. So that's pretty clearly like we got a lot of good stuff going on. I think honestly like the biggest adjustment here is just like tightening up in between speaking. And then also, I think very occasionally you have kind of the text animate up, but I would like to see it kind of animate in like every time. Unless there's like sometimes if I'm having something that shows up on screen like very, very quickly, I won't animate it. If it's just like the word but and we have like less than a second of it on screen or something. But typically I feel like just animating the words in every time is like what you want to see. So there's also a kind of like an amount of like lead up here that maybe we could do without. So we're gonna cut that. And so we're starting on movement instead of kind of like it takes a sec for like whatever the thing is to happen. So right now we stab him in the butthole. Boo, 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 boo. Maybe we could like add a, a sound effect like the oof. The oof. You can't get enough oof. So like, I don't know, that kind of thing.
I'm the greatest VTuber to live in these lands. I am the coolest, most prettiest, coolest.
Let's see.
I am the coolest, most prettiest, coolest.
I feel like right here we're getting the picture. And again, these are all kind of just nitpicky things, right? So, because I think this is all like pretty well done. I feel like maybe having like, well, that's enormous. We'll pretend that this text is formatted correctly. Can I even change? I can't change anything about this text. That's okay.
Coolest.
So like we have this real quick like so if we kind of like had it something like this where it would like pop up. And like these kind of things, just as I was saying a second ago, like it sounds like she's kind of saying like so like these kind of things, and they'd be centered, right? This is real slapdash, but like having these like kind of half words not animate on screen. Like when you animate everything, it really calls attention to when you're not animating something. So like having these come up so fast and like, oh, I'm hesitating. Uh-oh, she's lying. She's lying, folks.
Coolest, tallest, grandest, funniest VTuber, tallest, grandest, tallest.
Again, just nitpicky stuff. I don't typically like to see commas and things. Like especially if it's just one word. I feel like the auto captions will make these things for you potentially, but like if we're already gonna go to another word, I feel like a comma is sort of unnecessary. Yeah, we're just gonna shrink these in a little bit.
Tallest, grandest, funniest VTuber in.
Yeah, it's mostly just this one had kind of like a lot of hang on it.
Tallest, grandest, funniest VTuber.
I could also see like having a clown nose, a clown like honk sound effect here would be funny.
Funniest VTuber in the world. VTuber in the
we're kind of at a rough, I'm like hesitating because a lot of this is like I see that some of the comedy is kind of like in these pauses, but like I think we can kind of like, so like you had the bamboo hit before. I have a few of these ones. I showed these off earlier, but like we have the regular one, but then a few that are like shifted down a little bit. So like ongoing, it's like, oh, we start with the
I am the coolest, most prettiest, coolest,
so you have that one there,
funniest VTuber in the
and then it's like, oh, really?
VTuber in the world. I'm so cool.
It's like we kind of just keep escalating this situation.
So amazing. He felt pity. How about you feel? He felt pity.
Yeah, we're gonna cut this back slight. Oh, let's put it up. So I think story to and honestly, like this might not even be the right spot for this. Like I feel like the only thing sort of lacking in a story, why like from the story of what this short is like at this point, it's like the chat's now bullying her, right? So I think like that it doesn't not get across, but I feel like we can emphasize this point even more with like either another bamboo or like a vine boom or something.
He felt pity. How about you? He felt.
And then additionally, I don't want to cut to this scene.
Amazing.
I'm also, and I kind of mentioned this before, but I'm also not a huge fan of like fading words out. Like I think that just moving to the next scene, or you know, moving to the next cut, I should say, like gets kind of does away with that problem, you know what I mean? Unless it's like a situation where we're gonna hang on the scene for a really long time intentionally. Like I feel like almost never am I gonna want to like fade out or like animate the words kind of leaving, unless it's like there's this one guy on YouTube that does a really cool thing. I might want to like try and implement or do a version of it, but it's like the words kind of bounce up, and then like for like a frame or two, they like on the end of the word they kind of like bounce, they begin bouncing away, and then the new word comes up and it looks super slick. But in except for sort of cases like that, I'm like kind of like I don't want to see words like fading away, right?
He felt pity.
So it's like
Amazing. He felt pity. How about you?
So it's either like that sort of a thing, or like depending on how dramatic you want to be about it, right?
Amazing. He felt pity. How about you feel?
So it's like those are both like I think funny enough.
He felt pity.
I think I kind of like the boom a little more.
How about you?
And then we will get rid of that, because now that we have that, we can put the bamboo 2 kind of right here.
Felt pity. How about you feel my foot up your ass? Shut up. Your ass.
So when we hit the shut up.
Shut up.
Oops. We hit the shut up here. There's a bit of dead air here.
Could you reach the?
So this is like a third bamboo, because now it's like, oh, we're not gonna stop bullying you. You did this kind of thing. So.
Shut up. Could you reach the?
But same deal. Like we see the text, but like.
Could you reach the?
So now.
Shut up. Could you reach the? Could you reach the? And it means you're funny. Could you reach the?
And then again, we kind of have like I just want to cut out any of this, especially right at the end. I don't want there to be any hang time.
Could you reach the? And it means you're funny. Funny.
And then we're gonna cut off the end of that word just very slightly.
Funny.
Like, we can hear it. Maybe we do a sad SpongeBob face. Let's see.
Funny. Funny.
Yeah, I kind of like that. And then the last thing I wanted to do was like a, so if we, so we're going to kind of like, we're going to do a thing where we're going to nest this. I want to give it a pretty intense shake.
Your ass, shut up.
We're going to, hold on.
Shut up. Shut up.
I think we need to J-cut this guy.
Your ass, shut up.
Okay, so we're gonna add also. So I really want this shut up to feel like pretty impactful. So we're gonna do a couple things. I'm gonna scooch this out. Or no, wait. All right, I see. We're gonna make a color matte. I guess this isn't a, I made a weird canvas size. So we're gonna name this Red Matte. Hi, Red Matte. And we're gonna kind of put this guy on top. It starts, of course, at full opacity, but what we're gonna do is we are going to, we're going to lower the opacity so that we kind of have like this red screen now. So it's like, uh-oh, we're getting real intense. And then if we really want to kind of make this really sing, we can put a Lumetri color filter on it, and the Lumetri color filters, among other things, have vignettes. So we can, it's subtle and you probably won't notice it, but like it kind of like makes it a little more color rich or color kind of a thing. And then last but not least, we're gonna add the static sound. The static meme sound will take you places. I typically need to turn it down a little bit. But like,
Up your ass, shut up.
so like this sort of a thing. So now this is what we have, the whole thing. You might not notice it, but your brain will. I love Red Letter Media. I hope you're quoting them, Kev. I hope that's a quote.
I'm the greatest VTuber to live in these lands. I am the coolest, most prettiest, coolest, tallest, grandest, funniest VTuber in the world. I'm so cool. I'm so amazing. You felt pity? How about you feel my foot up your ass? Shut up. Could you reach through? Could you reach through? Funny.
I think the only other thing I might want to add is like, so like kind of similar to the bamboo. So we have we'll just use the sonic ring sound as an example. So right now in this beginning part,
Live in these lands. I am the coolest.
so we have like thing one, like lie, we'll just call these lies. So lie one,
I am the coolest, most prettiest, coolest, tallest, grandest, funniest VTuber.
so all of these different little scenes, right? They come in with a whoosh, and that's not incorrect or anything, because we're kind of, you know, we're transitioning with like a push from one to the other. But if we really want to kind of like make this like really want to escalate things, kind of like almost escalate the tension of it, and it doesn't have to be that. I'm just using this sound effect as an example, right? But like we have like, this is sort of a sound effect I use when something like good happens.
I'm the coolest.
So let's lower the volume on this very slightly.
I'm the coolest.
So we're gonna kind of put a ring at every point,
Most prettiest.
but we're not. This is also another quick thing, but it's like, since these words show up before the next thing kind of transitions over, so like it might be the kind of thing where it's like you see the CO dash, and then maybe that word is kind of shaking, you know, and then we come over coolest, like that kind of thing. Let's we'll put
Coolest.
So, oh shoot, I didn't copy that. There we go. All right, every time we kind of like come in from, really? Come on, mouse.
Tallest.
All right, copy. Yeah.
Grandest.
So when we.
Funniest VTuber.
All right, so what we're gonna do, since I don't have these ones set up, we're gonna just sort of speed duration. So each one of these we're gonna increase by 10% speed, and what's that's gonna do is in Premiere, it'll just sort of like Alvin and the Chipmunks, whatever sound effect you're doing, right? So like it's kind of pitch shifting without me having to like figure out where the different like keys are. I feel like 10%. Whoops. That was the wrong thing to click. There we go. I think this was 150. Is that right? Is that right? Is that right? Yeah, okay. So now, if I've done everything correctly...
These lands. I am the coolest, most prettiest, coolest, tallest, grandest, funniest VTuber.
And then it's like each thing, it's like we're escalating. It's like, I'm the best. And then one comment like tears her down. You know what I mean? So it's like if we were doing this sort of a thing, it's like if we didn't want to use this now, if we wanted to kind of like stay on theme, we could like maybe have a slowed down version of this. Maybe like we'll see what 80 sounds like.
Amazing. You felt pity.
Maybe combined with the boom. But that also doesn't sound. Oh, you know what? Actually, instead of that, since I also have the ring explosion, so it could be like we could kind of stay on theme here. We'll leave both of these here.
Amazing.
Oh, and we will. Oh, Paulsecco with the sub. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How are you? If you're here, I guess not. If you're people subscribing, don't need to be in this in this stream, but it do be showing up. Okay, so we're gonna lower the volume of this because that was too loud.
I'm so amazing. You felt pity? How about you feel?
So now it's like, now everything, it didn't feel disconnected or anything, but now we kind of have this like, this second layer joke, right? Of like, with the sound, and all we did was like a little bit of sound effect work.
I'm the greatest VTuber to live in these lands. I am the coolest, most prettiest, coolest, tallest, grandest, funniest VTuber in the world. I'm so cool. I'm so amazing. You felt pity?
And then honestly, even here, like,
So cool.
I don't know if we need this second line. It's just kind of repeating the same sentiment.
VTuber in the world. I'm so cool. You felt pity? How about you feel my foot up?
So it's like, you could keep that, or you could keep like the I'm so amazing. Like, I think they both serve the exact same purpose. And having her repeat it doesn't really like add anything, right? So,
Funniest VTuber in the world. I'm so cool. You felt pity? How about you feel my foot up your ass? Shut up! Could you reach through? Could you reach through? Funny.
okay. Hell yeah. So those are, you know, again, a lot of those were like it was already like ready to go from the get-go, but like these are kind of like things that I feel can like improve it even further. Well, hell yeah, y'all. I'm glad you stopped in, because I only realized once you dropped in that I hadn't grabbed that, but it was just hiding from me. All right, well, thank you all so much. I love doing these. We actually finished all of them this time, which is great. Usually there's some at the end that I don't have time for, but we're like right at the time to end, and we did them all. Look at all. Remember when we started with this one 3 hours ago? That's crazy. I love you all to pieces. I'm gonna do one last plug for my stuff. Yesterday I'm gonna post this again. So that's a link to my card. I am, as of yesterday, offering additional services besides just regular video editing, stuff. If you are looking for sort of advice on how, on the sort of current status of your shorts, and your, TikTok channel, your shorts channel, whatever, I'm offering services where I'll take a look at an amount of them based on whatever you choose. And then I will give you a video with my feedback. And then I also have, there's only one video up right now, but I have a lot of ideas for videos that I am going to be selling on Ko-fi, that are way more kind of in-depth and long-form than what I'm putting up on YouTube. Just because, like, YouTube only kind of, like, unless I'm, how do I say this? I want to be comprehensive with my information, but being comprehensive often means, like, hey, I need to, like, cut things down and make things easy to watch. So Ko-fi's kind of like, it's a lot less edited, but it is significantly more sort of comprehensive in knowledge. So right now I have a video up there. If you don't know, if you're like a beginner with Adobe Premiere, I have a video that's like about 90 minutes long, just under 90 minutes, where I go over every technical thing I think that you need from to import a video to like export it to, get it up there. Well, hell yeah, we don't raid on YouTube, or if we do, I'm not gonna. So I love you all to pieces. We will do this again soon. Thank you all. I'm so glad you all are enjoying these. And then, yeah, the VOD stays up, so if you want to go back to it later and look over some stuff, please do. Give me that sweet watch time, babies. No, I'm joking. I love you all. I will see you on the internet and on Twitch in the middle of the week this week. Goodbye. I'm going to end the stream now. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Boo, 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 boo.